Till the day they all stand still. Ain't a sign up on the door that says don't disturb this. Just a way to tell you that I'm so into you. And the feeling so real. What am I doing up this late? I just got home. Well, I didn't just get home, but I worked. And I worked a long time. I gotta ask, what is old? I don't know. Hit, what's good, man? My guy. I don't know. I don't know what old is. The age when you become so bitter that you start to just say bitter stuff, spread bitterness around the world. I don't know the age. I couldn't tell you. 45 plus is old. 35 plus is old. Could be. Could be. It's the age in which men start to give terrible advice to young men. I don't know the age. I don't really care. That's for you guys to decide. You know when you meet a bitter old man or a woman. You know when you meet a bitter old person. 40 is the new 20. Absolutely not. My back says otherwise. Ain't nothing a new 20 but the 20. But 20. Last time I checked. Wisdom is wisdom. Yeah. But a lot of these old dudes don't be wise. That's a good answer. I ain't gonna hold you. The age when a person becomes bitter. We got to pin that for everybody coming in that's gonna ask me, what age is old? I don't know. The age when you become bitter. How about that? That's when you know you old. Wisdom is wisdom. I don't know. Yeah, anybody can have wisdom. You're right, but you know, my son has said wise things to me. My son has definitely said wise things to me. So, but hey, here we are. Here we are, man. Let's see how long I can go. Let's see how long I can make it. Nothing worse than seeing a 50-year-old following 30-year-old red pills. That's the thing, Phoenix. I think you got it mixed up. The 50-year-olds, they originated the red pill stuff. I mean, they didn't originate it, but you know what I mean? Like they were taught the same stuff. They were taught the same brand of misogyny. Yeah, man. James said this post is dumb. Let's see. Come on up, James. I like that you like Kobe. I'll be as nice as I possibly can. Oh, you rejected it. All right, let's mute you for the rest of the live. You already know the deal. If you could tap, you could yap. Don't be in there. Don't be scared. Come on up and get unmuted. Hold on. How did that happen? That's not what I wanted. Okay. Hold on, James. I'll be with you in 1 second. Let me just fix my screen real quick. I don't like this format, this layout at all. There we go. That's what I need. There we go, baby. All right. Hold on. Let me turn this up. Make sure I can hear you. Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead, James.
So, are you saying that young men shouldn't listen to older men?
That's what it says.
And why do you feel this way?
Read the next thing. Old men are bitter, and most never do the work to become decent human to become a decent human being. So they blame everybody else for their failure. I explain like my prompts are pretty straightforward. You should. I don't think you should have to ask me what I was like. That's my thought process.
I mean, what old men are you talking about? Are you talking about old successful men, old
I'll
military
give you.
men?
I'll
I
give you.
mean, your
I,
post is very broad.
I
So,
mean, yeah, that's the point of a post. But here, I'll give you. I'll give you the man I'm talking about. This is successful man.
Congratulations to you, man. I heard you just
Appreciate it.
closed on $3 multi-million contracts.
Yes, that was, yeah.
But then your wife left you. Life, bro.
So are you asking a question?
Yeah, I guess the question is, man, did that make you be like, well, maybe this is timing, it just is what it is, or like?
I had a revelation, and the revelation is young kings focus on the bag. After you get the bag, choose what's best for you. Not what you want, choose what's best for you. Before you get to the bag, do your due diligence to pray to whoever it is you pray to, and meditate that your blessings actually be on hold until you are aligned with your destiny so that you don't lose your blessings. I need you to understand. Focus on your bag. Pray, meditate that you have the discernment to have people in your life who are going to elevate you and not suck you dry.
Congratulations to you.
That man was bitter. That's a bitter man.
where do you get bitter from that?
He's telling young men to focus on their bag, which is what? What does that mean? What do you
That
get?
means that start focusing on making money for yourself before you start having kids and chasing women. That's exactly advice you want to give a young man.
Right? That would seem smart, right? To old bitter men, but to people that are healthy, I would never tell. I'm never going to tell my son to focus on your bag or whatever. First of all, you could do two things at the same time. I don't know why we act like we can't do both at the same time. But secondly, work on yourself. Be a decent human being. That's what you work on. You work on being a decent human being. I mean, if I had to choose between quote unquote working on my bag and working on myself and building myself up, like from the inside out, that's what that would be my advice. If I was going to give any type of advice like that to a young man, it would be work on yourself from the inside. No, I didn't grow up with my father, thank goodness.
Well, I feel like if you had good parents, you would already have the work on yourself done. Now you need to learn how to be successful with what they taught you.
Nah, I'm not making that assumption. Your parents, a lot of times you have trauma from your parents. Come up, King Lamar.
I agree that some people can have trauma from their parents if they didn't have good parents. But if you had good parents, then that wouldn't be the case, correct?
Yeah. And what percentage of people don't have trauma?
I mean, mostly people with good parents.
I didn't ask what percentage of people don't have trauma.
Your questions are very encompassing. Like, are you just speaking on a race of people? Are you speaking to people
Brother,
born in rich homes?
it
Are you
don't matter.
people who were grown in
It
the hood?
doesn't
It
matter.
does matter because where you start off
Doesn't matter
is
at
going
all.
to have a big play on where you go.
I promise you it doesn't matter. What percentage of people don't have trauma? What
You
percentage
just tell
of
me it doesn't matter if your parents are millionaires or your parents are crackheads.
millionaire children have trauma? That's what I'm saying. That's why I could say it just about people in general.
Yeah, a lot of people have trauma, depending on what they go through in life. I could agree with that.
Most
Some
people,
people don't get hurt
most,
trauma.
yeah, most people, rich or poor, don't matter. Most people have trauma. Most people, right? Because most parents have
I
trauma.
don't know if it's most.
You don't think most people have trauma?
Yeah. No, I don't. Some people have very good families that extend across state lines and countries, and they do well. And some people have never had any of that.
What are you talking
I
about?
think that would be based on where you started. I
What does that
mean,
have to do with anything? I don't understand.
it has to do with everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe, based on the state of the world, that most people have trauma. The vast majority of people have trauma from their
The state
parents.
of the world.
Yeah.
I
Based on
think
the,
more people have trauma from the state of the world than they do from their parents currently.
but either
The
way,
media,
hold
the
on,
way
wait.
this stuff is being portrayed out here, that's causing way more trauma than anything our parents are doing. I think the problem is now our parents don't know how to stop their kids from dealing with the trauma with
Hold on,
so
wait.
many
Wait, wait,
ways.
wait, wait, wait. Back it up a little bit.
Evil.
That would be a part of the trauma if your parents don't know. If your parents don't equip you with the tools to overcome the trauma in the world, then that's a failure on the parents' behalf, first and foremost.
Well, I
Secondly,
mean,
hold on, James, please. Secondly, trauma, I'm sorry. Secondly, parents themselves, because parents aren't perfect. So parents often have to do a lot of growing when they have children. And what do you think is happening before they grow to be good parents? They usually some trauma ensues, right? Before they
it
figure it
depends
out.
on what age you became a parent, though, right?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what age you became a parent on how much you worked on yourself before you're going to be a good or bad parent.
No, I'm saying it doesn't matter because you've never been a parent. So I don't care what age you are. There's going to be a learning curve, no matter what. If you had a kid
I
at 30,
mean,
you had a kid at 25 or 20, learning curve is going to be steeper depending on the age for sure. I will 100% concede to that, but there's still going to be a learning curve because
okay, but a
being
woman
a
that was
parent is
raised around
crazy.
kids and a woman that wasn't raised around kids, there's going to be advantages to already having experience versus zero.
Say it one more time.
If you were raised around children and not raised around children, you're going to have some advantages from experience.
Okay. What does that have to do with anything? I don't understand.
So if you've already had experience, that gives you a better options of mistakes that you've already made prior to becoming a parent.
What does that have to do with what I'm not understanding. What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
How come you saying that if uh, a old man gives advice to a young man, he's bitter?
No, that's not what I said.
It says young men should not listen to old men. Old men are bitter. That's exactly what you said.
Okay, keep reading.
Okay, so how do you know that he's bitter just because he's old?
He's not bitter because he's old. He's bitter because he hasn't done the work on himself, and he gets like that guy in that video. His wife leaves him, his kids leave him, his nobody wants to be around him anymore because he hasn't done any of the work. And instead of him internalizing that and going, "Oh, maybe it was me the whole time," they project it out, and then they put that on everybody else, and they go, "Oh no, it was James's fault. It was public's fault. It was it was everybody else's fault. It wasn't
A lot of
it
people
wasn't my
have
fault."
trouble accepting responsibility for their actions in life, and
So
once you reach a point that you're able to accept the responsibility, that's when you start trying to give advice to people to not make the mistakes you did. At least in my experience,
yeah,
people
you're
try
right,
to
but
prevent.
the problem is that most people don't reach that point. That's what I'm saying. Older people, especially, they become more. You have a greater chance of doing it when you're younger than you do when you're older. You see what I'm saying? Because older people, they become more and more narrow-minded. They become more and more. They say conservative, even if you want to say. Older people don't like that. That's like a known phenomenon in older people. You see what I'm saying? So if you ever dealt with like a parent that was like let's say you were raised by a narcissistic parent, right?
Right.
A lot of times when you talk to those parents, what do? When you just bring up the slightest critique, right? Like your parent could have done you terribly, but like you just be like, "Oh yeah, mom, that's how you used to do us." And then, no, I didn't. I never did that. You look
They
at
would swear it never happened. I
you be
agree.
you be looking at your siblings like, were we in the same house? Like, where do you talk? Of course you did that, right? So that's what a lot of older people do. That's how a lot of people, when we get older, that's how we end up thinking. What? We have revisionist history, right? That's what I'm saying. So
but there's people that are progressive, a lot more progressive than that, and realize, one thing I had to realize was that if my parents didn't accomplish anything, then that's probably not who I need to be talking to accomplish things for myself.
but let me ask James, do people become more progressive or less progressive the older they get?
That can vary if you're willing to be progressive.
No. I'm talking about scientifically. It's been studied. So I'm asking you.
Once again, that depends on how progressive of a person you are.
No. Let's use science, right? Let's use science. Science says you become less progressive the older you get. That's what science says, right? Like the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Right.
There's a reason why we say stuff like that about human beings. So what I'm saying is, with that being said, it's less likely that an older person will become old and then realize the error in their ways. They won't. The majority of the time, they won't. If they didn't realize it when they were in their 30s or in their 40s or what, they're not going to realize it when they're in their 50s and 60s and 70s. Like, they're not. It's highly unlikely.
But what if they're doing good by the time they get old?
I'm not speaking for the what if. I'm speaking for the majority. There are some that do. This doesn't say all. I'm just talking about the majority.
But
I think the majority of men. I think the majority of men.
To say young men shouldn't listen to bitter old men, not just to old men. That's what I.
No, they shouldn't. Most old men are bitter. You're not. What are we going around in circles now?
I know a lot of old men that aren't bitter, man.
I didn't ask you who you know. I didn't ask you what you know.
Good and teach a lot.
James.
To a lot of us younger guys not to make mistakes, man.
Hold on, James.
Let's become better.
James. You just said, and here's what I'm saying. When I played that video, you said, yeah, that's right. So you sound like a bitter old man like him. They didn't. That's not knowledge.
But I'm not a bitter old man.
But you sound like one. Could have fooled me.
Well, if that's your opinion of what you took out of that, that's just your opinion. If I spent my life worried about one person's opinion, I would become a bitter old man, wouldn't I?
I don't know about that. But I do know that telling young men to quote unquote chase a bag and not become a better human being is a recipe for disaster. Because the funniest thing is that old man that said that, the guy said, congratulations, you just got a couple of multi-million-dollar contracts. So he got the bag. And then his wife left him. So obviously it wasn't the money, it was him. So what is getting your back? What does that have to? Hold on, James. Listen. Listen to what I'm saying. He was a prime example of why his own advice didn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. And the only logical conclusion I can come to is he was bitter, and that's why he was that's why his brain didn't connect that dot, because he was bitter.
He could have been an asshole, bro. A lot of men that make money,
bitter, same thing, brother.
With reality, man, because it depends on what they had to go through to get that money, man. Like Michael Jordan, one of the most celebrated athletes in history, one of the biggest assholes known to man, right?
James,
James, very well-to-do man.
James, asshole is a vague term. Bitter is not really vague, right? Bitter is still, I guess you could say it's kind of vague, but there's a literal definition to bitter, so we know what bitter is, right? Saying like you're playing semantics. He could have just been an asshole, but what made him an asshole though? Do you see what I'm saying? His bitterness makes him an asshole. That's my point. So the bitterness would still be the cause of him being an asshole. He is bitter. He sounded bitter. He gave terrible advice. That was not sound advice to give to a young man. Period, point blank. That was not sound advice to give to a young group of men. That you should go out here and chase the bag.
Yo, hello, how you doing?
What? I'm doing good, man. You got a lot of background noise, Saint.
Man, I apologize.
You good?
Okay, you were saying, I didn't see the video, but you were saying, I'm just answering your.
Hold on. Go ahead, Saint. Go ahead, Saint. I'm sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good, brother. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should listen to older men. I hear what you're saying. and I can relate to a lot of it. But bitter is a perspective term as well, and
Subjective.
I didn't see the video. Yeah, it is. It is, man. It's all a matter on how you view it. You know, I heard you talking to the gentleman down there. I don't see the name. I'm kind of working, so
James.
I'm not reading everything. Mr. James, right there. I see where he's coming. I see his point of view and yours as well. But in my experience, I would much rather prefer to listen to the older people than take it amongst myself to make those same mistakes. Whether he acknowledged the gravity of his mistakes, whether it was his fault or not, but he can guide me in a way to not make those same mistakes. He's still go ahead.
I listen to old people too. I'm gonna mute you up for now.
Yes.
You got a lot of background noise. I listen to old people too. I heard what that old man said. That older man, he ain't even that old, but I listened to what that old man said, right? And since I have the power of discernment, what it did was it gave me now when I hear a man like that talk, I go, oh, that's how not to think. I don't go, oh, that's how I should be thinking. I go, damn, okay, yeah. See, he's clearly bitter, and that's how not to think. So yeah, I listen to old people. It doesn't mean that you know what I'm saying? I learn from them, I should say. I learn from my son. I learn from older people, younger people. Doesn't matter. People my age. I learn because there's something you can learn from everybody. But sometimes you have to listen to the things they're not saying. That's how you learn too, right? You learn from the things that people don't say. And like I said, what he said flies in the face of all logic as far as I'm concerned. I don't understand telling young men to go out here and chase a bag and don't work on your personhood. Like don't work on don't work on your humanity, I would say. Right? I think that's crazy and destructive.
Where did you see him not say that though? He didn't tell him not to work on humanity.
He did. He said just focus on your bag. That didn't leave room for anything else.
So you think that because somebody told you to focus on making money that they're basically saying don't do anything else?
Yeah. If somebody says to prioritize making money, then what room are they leaving for anything else?
There's things in your life that you would need to prioritize in order to make sure that you're able to make money.
Okay. Now, what does that mean?
That means that you can't just dress any kind of way, act any kind of way, be any kind of person to make money. There's requirements that you're going to need. You're going to need to go to school. You're going to need to educate yourself. You're going to need to eat properly. You're going to need to make sure you take care of yourself and hit that gym. There's requirements in order for you to be able to go out and make the kind of money you want to make. So when he's telling you to focus on that bag, that means focus on everything that's required for you to get to the level that you want to be in.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the gym to make money. You don't have to go to school to make money. You should
need to be healthy to make money. You do need to go to school. You need to be educated.
You need to be educated. I would assume, but yeah, but you don't have to go to college, or you don't have to go to school to get educated. But yeah, I mean, there's ways to make money, but just telling people to focus on your bag is not. It's counterintuitive to me. I don't understand telling young men to do that. To be honest with you, you don't need to tell a young person to focus on making money. We live in a capitalist society. You definitely should focus. Instead of telling people to focus on making money, what you do is, I would prefer to take your approach, James, and you tell people all the stuff around it, right? Because if you're healthy and you're educated and you're mentally stable, you will more than likely make an abundance of money, right? That's what you tell people. But he was bitter, so he chose his words specifically to basically say, don't worry about these women. Don't worry about these people. I'm paraphrasing. This is what I got from it. These women, get your money first, and then you'll have the pick of the litter, and you'll be able to get you a woman who won't leave you when you're older or whatever the kid. Like, that's what I got from what he was saying. And I was like, that's weird, because A, that woman probably still will leave you. But
telling guys to focus on that bag and not focus on these women, man, anybody should know that's been through anything. I know where my life was 10 years ago, and I know where my life is now. And if it wasn't for the men and women to help me guide to not make the mistakes that I could have made, I wouldn't be the father I am today, man.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think you're like arguing a point that is not fine. You got some good information from the men around you. Great. I think a lot of people think that they're a good person and they think that they're in a great place, but oftentimes they're not. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if you are or you aren't, but I'm just.
We can't control what anybody considers a good place for them. That's up to them to decide. That's not up for me, you, or anybody else. Now,
I disagree.
If they bring in other people into the world, maybe that becomes. But if somebody's doing them, why am I worried about what that man's doing? That ain't got nothing to do with my money.
Well, it's not me. I'm not saying like I'm saying I'm with you. I'm with what the last part you said, as far as like, if you have a family and you have other people around you who you like, if you're a hermit and you live by yourself, then whatever, you're in a good place for yourself. That's fine. But if you're not a hermit and you have people in your life and in your world that you affect, then they are the ones who will be able to determine if you're in a good place or not. That's what I'm saying. And I don't know if you are, you aren't, right? Like I'm not denying it one way or the other. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I don't have a clue. But a lot of people also don't have a clue. A lot of people who are like, a lot of us, especially men, we don't have a clue. We don't take mental stock, right? We don't take time to reflect and really think about ourselves and have self-awareness. Like we don't do that. We live in a bubble a lot of times. So I don't know. Hopefully you are. I don't know. Right? I'm rooting for you. Ain't like I'm like, oh, I hope you're doing bad. Like I hope you're doing great. But I don't know.
A lot of that comes down to what you was doing prior, who you hanging out with. I mean, the wrong crowd can mess your whole life up, bro. Everybody knows that. You're running with the wrong people and you get the wrong advice. But some people, there's nothing you can do about somebody who only wants to hear what they want to hear. They ain't gonna listen to nobody else unless they tell them what they want. And then when they hear what they want, they're gonna lean on that. Now,
yeah, that sounds like our conversation, by the way.
Like you can see, I mean, if that's how you taking it, that's on you, bro. I don't feel like that on my end. I'm sorry you feel that way on yours.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that's what it feels like to me. But go ahead, Double T.
Oh, what's up, my man? I was saying, so you basically saying I shouldn't listen to them old men right now.
I think I mean, like I was telling Saint, I think older people add value, and they, you know what I'm saying? No, they could say something to you, but I think if you don't have the ability or power of discernment or the skill or whatever, then you could get led down wrong paths by listening to somebody simply because they're older than you and assuming they have the answers because they're older than you. But come to find out, they just old and bitter. That's what I'm saying.
What do you say about people who are young and bitter?
What about them?
Are they at a complete disadvantage already for being bitter before they get old?
Yeah.
Hold on, you gonna have to break that down to me, man. You confuse me, man. Hold on, run that back. Run it back. Just
okay.
Run it back. Hold on. Now, so you telling me all the old folk really old and bitter whole time?
I won't say old folk. I'm speaking specifically about older men. Like, men be old and bitter a lot of times. Like, they be like we be bitter. But to James's point, we be bitter when we younger too.
Yeah, don't women be old and bitter too? Shit.
Maybe.
Hold on.
Now,
you can't
not
say men just be old and bitter and then be like,
hey man, I'm just telling you, Double T, what I'm telling you is older women have relationships with their friends. They're not unaliving themselves. They're not unaliving alone at the same rates that older men are. They still have a support group around them. Like, it would look to me like older women ain't running around being bitter. They got family, they got friends, whatever. Older men, on the other hand, alone, lonely, bitter.
Wow, bro.
I
a whole nother topic.
I don't know. That sounds perverted, bro. I don't know, bro.
Hey, bro.
That
Perverted.
perspective is a little. I don't know. I mean, you know the. I mean, it's always duality in this world, my man. So I can't
I know
say
for a fact that a
it's
lot
one
of
out the
older
other.
women have what they have because of
Unmute,
them.
Saint.
I mean, and
Unmute,
it would
Saint.
make sense because women are more social than men always, sir. So
You
I
know,
can't really.
I
Yeah,
don't care why.
as a
I'm
military man, I know multiple women that the only reason they're in a nursing home is because their husband was in the military.
yeah, couldn't care less about that. But go ahead,
Of course
Saint.
you couldn't. Anytime that we speak up on men, you want to talk about women.
No. The reason,
Like women don't do no
hold
wrong.
on,
Like they
James.
perfect.
No, that's you guys say the same ignorant stuff. I don't base the things that I'm saying based on just the way that I view the world or just the things that I've seen in the world, right? That's what I'm saying. So instead of me doing that and playing this game of like, well, I know two women that's in it, like I don't do that type of stuff because I know that that's ignorant. So I can look beyond myself and beyond my circle, right? And my personal experiences. I can look beyond that and I could go, okay, what's like, because I don't know everybody in the world, nor do you, right? And if there's tools that or if there's information out there that gives me insight into how most people are functioning, then I probably should study that stuff, which
Have
I've
you ever
done.
left the states?
What does that have to do? Yes, who cares?
And
See
where
what I'm
have you
saying?
been?
Wait. Do you see how stupid this is already a dumb question? This
Have
has
you ever
nothing
left
to
the
do with what I'm
states?
talking about. I
You
don't care.
said other people.
Do
Where have
not.
you been besides the
I
United States?
promise you. I promise you I don't care. I promise you. And the reason why I say that is because most people who live in America don't even understand America. So you want me to believe that because you have traveled somewhere else, you understand that culture and that place?
Who
You
said
don't
anything about
understand
me traveling?
America.
I asked you if you
I
have
know.
ever left the
I
state.
know, sir. Listen to what I'm telling you. You missed the point. This is how I know you're not listening. What I'm saying is you are going to try to do this like, well, I traveled the world because I was in the military and I've observed because I've been all around the world. Cool. Not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny you've been around the world, right? But what I am denying is that you somehow, some way think that you understand Japan or you understand Germany or you understand the German people because you did a stay there for some time. You were stationed there or some shit like that. Like you don't know what's going on in America. You're arguing with me about stuff, about facts you can look up about what's going on in America right now. And you want me to believe that you know what's going on around the world? You see
Where
what I'm
did you
saying?
gather I don't know what's going on in America from?
I just right now, sir, the thing that I just stated, right? The fact that the fact that I just stated about how older women are not unaliving alone at the same rates as older men are. Older women foster longer, stronger relationships and bonds with their friends. They have a bigger support group than men do. Like all of these things, right? That's statistically proven. And you said, well, I know two old women that's in a nursing home right now. They wouldn't be in that. So what was the point of saying that?
That's not what I said.
Okay,
I was
what did you say?
A lot. Do you know what the average cost of a nursing home stay per month is?
I couldn't care less.
Well, you care about everything, but when we ask you to give us something, you don't care.
You don't understand how that is irrelevant to what we are
That's
discussing
very
right
relevant.
now.
It's
Okay,
very
how is it relevant? How is it relevant?
Because most men are not going to be able to. Most people aren't going to be able to afford to do that. But if you were in the military, they will cover that for your wife, for life, for her to be there. So yeah, you're going to see some women with some advantages that men don't have.
I didn't say in a nursing home.
But if I got a nursing home of 80 people and
James, I didn't say women are unaliving in a nursing home. You just did that. That didn't make sense. See what I'm saying? That is exactly what I thought. It didn't have anything to do with what we were talking about. Hold on, Double T. Saint been trying to talk. Go ahead, Saint. Unmute your mic, brother.
Hey, how you doing? There we go.
I'm good, fam.
I don't know if the background noise is worse or not, but
No, you good. It sound better now.
okay. Do you not think that some people are justifiable bitterness?
Of course.
And
Yep.
And I was listening to what y'all was saying. Y'all make compelling points. The reason why I'm saying that is because us as men, I don't want to get into the demographic of men and women. We're a little bit, we go through a little bit more in certain scenarios. I don't want to get into that for as family and etc., especially in divided households majority of the time. You know, and it definitely creates a bitter man in that aspect, and there will be a justifiable bitterness. But in that
wait, I missed it. Wait, go back. Saying, why are the men bitter?
Let's just say I didn't really want to get into that. Let's just say in a divided household, women normally keep the children, hypothetically, right? And I'm just touching on what you were saying. Of course, she's going to have more. She's going to have an advantage. And like I said, I don't want to go into the woman and man thing.
Why does she have an advantage?
Okay, because listen, if a man pays child support, he pays child support. The woman gets love, growth, and development with the children, and that's irreplaceable.
And why does she have an advantage?
Because in the end, the growth and love and development that the woman has adequated with the children, I'm gonna say the custodial, the growth and love and development that she's had, my money could never substitute for that time and love and development. My money could never replace. We don't have that relationship, so in the end, when they see me as a bitter old man, I'm bitter.
So you're saying that women foster a better relationship with the children than men do, and men have the same ability to do that, but they choose not to do it. But since women do it, they end up having. Hold on. We do. How don't you?
Well,
what do you mean?
In America now.
In America, why don't you have the same? Why don't you have the same ability to foster a great relationship with your kids?
Okay, in a divided household. You're
jumping. Wait, Saint. Don't make.
No, I'm not. You asking me why?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm telling you, the time. It's the time simply because 5 days every other weekend. There's 30 days in the average of a month.
Wait, you missed. Hold on. Wait. Go back. Before that, before the breakup, you're in the home. You got kids together.
Okay.
She's spending more time with the kids than you are. She's putting forth more effort in the kids than you are. Why don't you just put more effort in the kids? And that way she won't have an advantage, right? You're gonna tell me that men don't have that. That men don't have that. Hold on, wait, Saint. Are you telling me that men don't have that ability?
No.
I don't care how much money I don't care if you're the sole provider. It doesn't matter. When you come home, which you do come home, you can spend all your time with your kids. You're not working all the time.
Easier said than done. That's easier said than done. We're talking about the amount of time. When she's at home, and we're talking about, a one-income household, I'm going to address it from that perspective. She's at home with the kids doing this, doing that. I mean, that's growth and development there.
Sir, how many hours a week does the average American work?
80 hours a week, 40 hours.
About 40 hours a week. Okay.
40 hours. Yeah,
I think it's a little bit
for a regular person. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more than that, but let's do 40 hours, right? So 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's 8 hours a day. 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. That's 2 days off. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So you got 16 hours left per day. Right? You sleep for 6 to 8. Let's go high end. 8. That's 8 plus 8 is 16. So you got 8 more hours in the day. Right?
Mm-hmm. You might preparation, getting ready for work, yada yada, right?
You probably got about 4 or 5. You probably got 4 hours a day awake, cognizant, aware with your kids. What are you doing? You don't think that's an adequate amount of time to develop a strong bond and relationship with your children?
I mean, you make a point.
So what if men stopped making excuses and started actually spending time with their kids? Wouldn't that be crazy? And then they won't be at a disadvantage. Right?
You don't think we're at a disadvantage?
The only disadvantage is that
the sole disadvantage is on us?
The only disadvantages that we have, we put on ourselves. We create the disadvantages. There is no disadvantage in reality. You are your biggest obstacle. Your selfishness, and I'm not saying this about you specifically. I'm just saying you, whoever we're talking about.
No, we're speaking. Yeah.
Your selfishness. You needing to go drink with your buddies. You needing to watch sports. You needing to play basketball or whatever you want to do. You needing to come home and stare at the TV for 2 hours, and all of that stuff. Yeah, that's the problem. The women don't do that. That's what I'm saying. The women don't do that. When women come home, they don't sit in front of the TV and veg out for 2 hours. They come home, they start doing shit with the kids.
Hold on, man. They be gone 3-4 hours with the girls doing, etc. and etc. You're
That's
not
cap.
giving the men no time for preservation of
That's
itself.
cap.
You,
That's cap.
You don't think so?
100%, without a doubt.
We're talking about modern. We're not talking about our parents.
Modern is even less time with other people. That don't even make sense.
Nah.
Old school,
Man,
you had a better chance of selling me on that. Old school women, you had a better chance of selling me on like they were in a book, a neighborhood whatever club or whatever. In 2024, you saying the new women are going around town with their friends? Like, get that, brother, stop.
Man, come on, listen, hold on. They'll sit at home 4 or 5 hours in their phone right now. Kids running them up.
That's a lie.
Let's be real, man. They'll stay on social media.
That's a lie.
I ain't gonna even say women because it's dudes too. Now I don't want to be
so if the women, hold on, wait. So if the women are if the women aren't raising the children, then who is?
They're raising themselves practically. Social media. Come on, man. Listen, I don't want to go in too much down there. We talking for understanding. I ain't trying to disprove nobody. But what I'm saying is, you're saying bitter men. Men, I agree with you. Men are more likely to be bitter because of the hardships of our life. It is never. We're not the same, and I don't want to offend.
Because of the hardships of our life. No, totally disagree.
Let me elaborate.
Men are bitter. Men are bitter because they live. They get coddled their whole life. They live in a lie. What? They live in a bubble. Yes, men are coddled. They live in a bubble. They never hear the truth about themselves, and when they do, they reject it. You're doing it right now. And then when they get left alone because they've never done the self-work, because they've never done the work, they blame everybody else for their failures.
You say,
come on, what?
I'm gonna give you an example. Let me give you an example, and I want you to answer this question truthfully. When is it acceptable on any terms for a man to sit at home and not work? We're obligated to do that. We'll never not have to have those 8 hours you was talking about. That will always come out of our life in any decent family.
When does anybody get to sit at home and not work, Saint?
I don't want to get personal. My wife is Saint, I wouldn't say what she don't do is work. I wouldn't say what she don't do is work because she takes care of the kids.
Hold on, wait. 70% of married women work. Right? 70% of married women work. Right? So, and about 45% of women make more than or the same amount of money as their man. So stop the cap. Stop the men working. You don't, sir. Stop.
Hold on, listen. Men make more money than women. That's part of the equal right.
Hold on, Saint. Here's what I'm saying. You guys reject actual numbers and stats you can look up for yourself like I did. Right? I did a whole live on this. I showed the numbers.
This dude is tripping, bro.
It is a real thing. I'm not making it up. It's not my opinion. It's not what I think. 45% of women in marriages, so you could, let alone in a relationship, so because marriage is even more extreme. So 45% of women in marriages make the same amount or more money than their husbands. The same amount or more money than their husbands. That leaves only 55%. Overall, 70% of all married women work. So what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. Overall, 70% of women work. 45% of women make as much or more money than their husbands. That is an actual number. You can go look it up. So what are we talking about? Once again, in real time, men are making excuses for not being better people. In real time, you're not a good father. There's a division in the house and all of this stuff, as if the division just came out of thin air. Where did the divide come from, gentlemen? If not from your behavior.
Got rid of village mentality, man. That's where the biggest problem came from.
Who?
We used to have a village mentality, man, and now it's an every man for himself mentality. That causes problems.
That sounds like capitalism, but okay. Go ahead, Double T.
Shit, I don't know what to say, man. Shit, you just like shit. you like fuck it, all old men better. I'm like shit. I don't
Right,
know
bro.
about
Like that's
all
not even
of them,
cool, man.
shit, but
Don't grow
My
up to
kids
be
are
an old
doing
bitter
great.
I
man, Double
mean, shit,
T.
it sounds like you kind of
My
trying to
kids are
put some
doing great in
Hold
life.
on,
perspective in
James, why
here,
are
you
you
know.
talking while
You gotta,
everybody else
you
is
gotta,
talking?
you
Go
gotta
ahead.
hear us out too, man. You know, shit.
Are you an old man?
I'm a young man,
You a
sir.
young man, yeah.
But you know, I have talked to older men and have
Hmm.
taken their advice.
Yeah,
Things
I'm not
like
saying they don't
stuff
offer
I
any
learned
Double
from my
T.
peers
Hold on,
also.
Double T. I'm not saying they don't offer any valid advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure they could teach you how to like change your tires and like the good, like a good pastrami spot to go to, stuff like that, right? But
Man,
I'm saying,
you protecting fucking goddamn disrespectful in your comments though, bro. I'm gonna be real, bro.
how am I
I
disrespectful?
ain't gonna lie. They ass disrespectful in this bitch. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Oh, you talking about the comments?
Talking
Hold on, be
about I
careful.
can't form a sentence and shit. This TikTok. This is
Yeah,
TikTok.
don't worry,
Social
brother.
media.
Hold on, sir. Please don't read the
God
comments
damn it.
because
Mm,
you and I are talking right now, right? So I want you and I to have a conversation. That's
I
rude,
bet.
right? Isn't it rude to be reading comments while you're talking to me? So the thing that I'm trying to understand is that what information have you received from an older person that told you that you felt like is helping you in your life? What information have you received that makes you a better person?
I mean, I feel like it's what you said already. You said it make them a bad person. And it's go get that money. How
Hmm.
else I'm gonna provide for my sisters, myself, my family, and all of that? And I mean, how am I gonna take care of my woman? I ain't got no money. I'm broke.
They
I
told you
mean,
that.
you talking about overload low working perspective. I mean, I'm gonna take care of the woman with no money. Like, I
How
mean,
you gonna take care of the woman if you're mentally broken down? How you gonna take care of the woman if you don't pay attention to her? Do you know there's a bunch of ways to take care of a woman,
nah,
like
fuck
a
that. The
person?
woman can take care of my kids. I'm the sacrifice every time. For
What do you
real.
say? Hold on,
As
wait.
long as they got that money,
Double T, double
they
T,
gonna
double
be
T,
good.
double T, double T, please. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't listen to respond. You didn't hear what I
Yeah.
said. You literally just responded. How how does getting money have anything to do with you supporting her emotionally? If your
Oh yeah,
mental ain't
that
right,
ain't
if
got
you're
nothing to
not
do.
a
You can support a woman emotionally. You can give her your time, your attention, and all that in your love. That's already expected. You feel me? But you
but that's
already
the thing.
know.
Hold on, but double T, that's the thing that's not given. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The money is there. The money is
Who don't
okay.
be out here loving a woman?
The vast majority of men.
Oh, damn.
You don't believe me? Ask the women.
I mean, shit. I mean,
You
I
don't
don't pay
believe me? Don't
attention to a
listen to me.
relationship.
Ask the women. Ask the women, do they feel loved by the majority of men? Ask them. I'll wait.
Shit.
You can read the comments
I
now.
mean, I
Ask
mean,
them.
they be saying they don't feel loved, and the dudes be saying they don't feel
Nah,
loved. So
nah,
you
nah,
look
nah.
at it
Nope. I don't
sideways.
care. I don't care what a dude said. You said
Why
that
you
the
don't
wit.
care? You a man yourself.
So I'm a
Why you
man,
don't
but
care
I'm not
what
a
other men
liar.
got to say? You a man yourself.
I'm a man, but I'm not a liar. I'm not lying to myself. That's the
I
thing.
ain't never said you were lying to yourself, but I'm saying you a
Double
man
T.
yourself, and you saying you
Listen to
don't
what
care
you're
about
saying.
what other men say.
Hold on. You think I'm in a cult? I'm not in that cult. I
Man,
don't
I
care that
said
I'm a man.
that,
I'm
man.
man. Y'all don't know how to have a conversation. Double T. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not. You're saying. Here's what you're saying. I don't know if you know this or not. You're saying you're a man, so you should automatically feel this way because you're a man, right? Whatever way you think I should feel because I'm a man. You see what I'm saying? That's a cult-like mentality. I'm not in the cult. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not in the cult. I'm out of the cult. I've outgrown it. I think it's useless, right? No older man told me I was in the cult, by the way. I had to figure that shit out for myself, right? Women was telling me I was in the cult. They didn't use the word cult, but they was telling me my mind was all messed up and I wasn't looking at things right or whatever. They were trying to help me out. Men never told me that. I never had a conversation with a man about me being in this cult of man, right? So now I'm telling you, as a man, I'm out of the cult, right? I'm breaking free every day. More and more, I get further and further away from the cult. And I'm telling you, when you get away from the cult, you start to see reality and you stop seeing things from the perspective of a damn cult member. You sound like you're in the cult because you just said it. You a man, ain't you? Yeah, I'm a man, but I'm a person first. What are you talking about? I'm a human being. Man or woman, I'm a human being first. Screw my gender, screw my sex. I am a human being, and I'm telling you from the perspective of a human being, right? I can see as clear as day. I believe the scores of women that have come out for a millennia and told us that men haven't been able to love them properly. I believe them. At some point, you got to believe them. Now, when men say that, what are you saying? That your reflex is, oh, men do the same thing. First of all, two wrongs don't make a right. First and foremost. Secondly, you're telling me that you've never been loved by a woman? Is that what you're telling me,
My
Double T?
woman love me. My
Okay.
woman love me.
How about your mama?
My mama love me too.
How about your granny?
My granny love me too.
Okay, cool. So you've had hella love from women. So what are you talking about? Most
What you
men
mean?
have had all of that type of love. But ask men, have they had that same type of love from a man?
Oh my God, man.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Look, you confusing me over here, first. Now
I'm
you gotta
sure I
remove
am.
that. You
I
muted me. You can't. We gotta conversate, man. You can't be muting me, man. We gotta talk. We gotta talk.
Yeah, no, you can't talk while I'm talking though. So if I'm talking, you got to be quiet. I'll get quiet when you talk. Don't if I start talking, you get quiet, right? But go ahead.
All right. If you gonna be quiet while I talk, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do
Yeah, I'll listen to y'all. Wait a minute, I got to bring everybody. I got to make sure everybody finishes their stuff. Let's go to God 34. God 34 was good, and then I'm gonna get to James, and then we'll go back to Saint. Go ahead, God 34.
Hey, yeah. So I was just going to say that I think that sometimes the reason that this happens with, I think you're saying older men give some bad advice a lot of times because they're bitter. I just think that a lot of times that happens because of maybe things that they have gone through or been through and don't know exactly how to process that for themselves. And when you can't process that type of information and things for yourself, then you can't really tell anyone else or really give good advice to anyone else on how to deal with that or how to process it for themselves.
That's literally what my prompt says. But thank you. If you read it, if you read the bottom part, old men are bitter and most never do the work to become decent human beings, so they blame everybody else for their failures. That's the same thing. They don't know how to process it. They don't do the work on them. Like it's the same thing. But I got you though. I agree. We are on the same accord without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I'm with you. Men don't do the work. They don't learn how to process their traumas. They don't work through it, right? And then they blame everybody else because along the way you needed to be doing the work. The whole time you needed to be doing the work. Not just when you're an old man. You need to be doing it when you're 20, 30, 40, 50. You need to be doing it the whole way. And we don't. We don't. Now we go to sleep, we wake up, we're 55 or 60. Nobody wants to be around us. No matter how much money you got, you're insufferable to be around. You don't listen. You talk when people are talking. You're down all the time. You're on edge all the time. You don't never have a nice thing to say to anybody. Like you're miserable. You're miserable to be around, right? And then people leave.
And I heard some of the other comments and things, and I think it also comes down to like priorities and how you prioritize things. I heard you have a conversation about the kids and mothers with kids versus the fathers with kids and things like that. And so I understand everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, but I just think it comes down to what it is that you said as being priority or what people said as being a priority. So if your kids are your priority, then that should show up in your actions, not just in what it is that you're saying that you want to do. Just like most people, I've worked all day, every day, or whatever, but I showed up for like every kid's trumpet thing when they was in the band, when they do a color guard and all those things. So you just have to make it a priority to be there, to show up.
Yeah. Talk to
nobody
them.
has more hours than anybody else in a day.
Yeah.
So I think you're on to the part with us. Hey, let's stop making excuses. And if your priorities aren't in line with what it is that you say you're going to do, what it is that you say you want to do, then that's something that like you said, you got to fix within ourselves.
Yeah, men prioritize themselves in these relationships most of the time. I'm talking about even the ones with their kids. They prioritize themselves far too much.
And then the last thing else, yes, I do have a son that is a young adult now. So he's roughly right about 25, 24. But I did give him some of that advice about not prioritizing, to really focus on himself, if you will, not worry about, hey, which girlfriend you got and all these other things. Because I'm like, hey, man, you need to figure out what it is that you want out of life first and what it is that you're trying to achieve in this life first. That's not necessarily even getting paid or going to get whatever type of education, whatever. Just take the time to figure out what it is that you want out of this life. Because I just believe that whatever it is that you want to do, the world is always going to tell you yes. You just have to commit yourself to doing it. So if you want to be, I don't know, a teacher, a doctor, or whatever, you can always go and do those things, but you need to figure out for yourself what it is that you want to do and commit yourself to doing them.
I would say just work. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why we're overcomplicating this. Work on yourself. Be the best human being that you possibly could be. Learn how to learn empathy, learn critical thinking, learn self-awareness, get educated. Don't be afraid of education. Don't be afraid if that's reading a book, if it's doing, I don't care what it is, but educate yourself, allow yourself to be educated, and listen to other people. Like, listen to, like, if you're like, you guys are wondering, a lot of y'all, how did you get here? Like, I'm gonna ask Jason this because he just said some weird comment. He said that women brainwashed us. What makes you think a woman brainwashed me? How did a woman, what are you talking about? How did a woman brainwash me?
Well, I'm not just specifically saying you, but to say that I feel like this is such a small portion of men that we're speaking about. It's being spread out to a large variety. That is a statement that has been used to describe certain men, a small pocket of them that wasn't doing anything and became bitter and resentful. That's not the majority of us. The majority of us has been holding it down since the beginning of time, since we made the wheel and put it on a cart and made it roll. We've been doing what we need to do, and I understand and I support you. I support what you got going on because there's a flip side to every coin. But just remember, there's a lot of men out here, old, that have put in the work, that have done
Yeah.
it from the.
And Jason, I'm not talking about those men. I'm talking about the men who haven't done the work, and that's the majority of men. So what I would ask you is, who should I listen to? Who should I listen to? Right? You tell me. Should I listen to men tell me the state of men? Basically, what I'm saying is, should I listen to men tell me how they are viewed in this world? Right? Their impact on the world. Should I listen to Jason? If I want to know what Jason has done in the world, should I listen to you or should I listen to the people you say you've impacted? Who will give me a more clear, honest picture of Jason's impact on the world?
The people that you have impacted will give
Okay.
you a clear
Okay. And the people you have affected. Okay, cool. So once again, why am I listening to you tell me about what men have done since the dawn of time? Why wouldn't I listen to the children? Why wouldn't I listen to the women? The people who they're in? Because I was a child too. You were a child too. Are we going to sit here and lie and act like the people? Hold on, Jason. Jason, hold on, brother. Are we going to sit here and lie and act like the people who didn't cause us the most harm weren't men? Are we going to sit here and act like it wasn't a man? Like, think of, I want everybody on this panel in the live. Hold on, Jason. Hold on, sir. Whoever is talking, please. What I want you to do right now is give me 30 seconds. Close your eyes and think about the biggest problem in your life, right? Like, I want it to be like a big problem, not something that's getting on your nerves. Whenever it was, think back, think it could be now, it could be whatever it is. I want you to think about the biggest problem in your life, and I won't even say necessarily health related, but just outside of that, right? And then I want you to take 15 seconds to think about how did that problem become the biggest problem? Like, at its core, who is responsible for that problem? And then what I want you to do is open your eyes and think of, and then in your mind, what I'm thinking is I want you to come up with a face of the person that is at the core of this problem. And if I'm wrong, or if I'm right, the face of that person is going to be the face of a man. I will almost guarantee you. I will almost guarantee you. If it's a money problems, it's a man. A man is at the root of that. No doubt about it. A group of men are actually. What problem? What's your biggest problem? Let me hear it. What's your biggest problem? You didn't grow up with a daddy? That's your daddy's fault. You grew up poor? Probably your daddy's fault because she probably wasn't providing enough for your mama and you. Let's keep going. I just keep going down the line. So I don't be understanding, like, why do y'all be sitting up here talking about saying stuff that we know is historically untrue? Men have been holding it down. What are you talking about? Men are the abusers. Men are the users. Men are the manipulators. What are y'all talking? Like, seriously, I'm very curious as to how can we be the people who are most likely to hurt and destroy people, right? But also be the people holding it down? How do you reconcile that?
Because we're the ones doing everything, because men have been the ones that have been predetermined to go out there and get it. So yeah, I agree with you. We are causing the most damage, but we are out there dealing with the most stress.
Hold on. Say that again and make it make sense. Yes, we are causing the most damage. Do you realize that two things can be, hold on, Jason. Two things cannot be, Jason, two things cannot be true at the same time, brother. We cannot be, Jason, hold on, man. We cannot be the group of people that are causing the most harm while simultaneously being the people who are responsible for holding it down. Do you not see how that's not logical? Am I missing something? How is that logical?
All right. Who is the breadwinner? Who has been the one to go to work every day since the beginning? It's been men, right?
No.
The mother stayed home.
You guys have revision. You don't know anything about, sir. Women hunted, women got food, women fought in wars, women did all the same things men did. So stop. So don't talk about the dawn of time. You don't know anything about the dawn of time. Let's just talk about this country. Let's go back 100 years. Let's start there. Can we just do the last 100 years? Please.
Let's do the last 100 years then.
The last 100 years. Okay. And what system has, hold on, Jason. Hold on. Let's start at the top. Let's start at the top, Jason. Was there and is there a system that was put in place that inevitably led to a power imbalance that favored men and disadvantaged and disenfranchised women?
Yes.
Okay. So, if that is the case, then whatever you're going to say about who was going out and working, wouldn't that automatically mean that whole point is moot? Because we didn't allow women to go out and work, even though black women were working. But we didn't allow women to own land. We didn't allow women to vote. Women had very little autonomy. So they were restricted. So if you set up society in such a way, right, where you force women to rely on men economically, and you force women to rely on men for survival, and then they do that, and then fast forward 100 years later, Jason gets up here and says, men have been holding it down for 100 years. You don't see how that doesn't make sense? You didn't allow them to do the things that they can. You told them they can't go to college. You said, men, you can go to college, women, you can't. You said, men, you can have a job, women, you can't. You said, man, you can own land and a house and property, women, you can't. You said, men, you said, women, you don't even have rights over your own body. If you married, your body is your husband's body, and they didn't change the law until like 1993. I was alive in 1993. I was listening to Jodeci in 1993. Matter of fact, what was you doing in 1993?
I
You
was
see what
doing
I'm saying?
I was doing the same thing.
Exactly.
You ain't that much older than me. I see where you're going. There's a flip side to the coin. You're going with the law that they put in place to support your argument. All I'm telling you is that men, right, were the ones that went out there and they were the providers who were dealing with the most stress.
Okay, so you just literally you didn't hear what I just said, and this is what is kind of annoying, because if you were just going to repeat the same talking point, I should have just let you do that. But you do realize that your talking point doesn't make sense anymore. That's what I'm saying. You cannot once again, you cannot set the system up in such a way that women are disadvantaged, men are advantaged, and then say men have all this stress. First of all, men didn't have more stress than women, by the way. They never have. They never have, and for the foreseeable future, they won't, right? Women have all the stress. Men put all of their stress onto women, actually. We project it onto women. Shannon just did a live about this, one of my mutuals. Women internalize all the stress and pressure from men, are external. So we get external pressures and stress from life. No doubt about it, because we're at work, blah, 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 right? But nowadays women work too, but neither here nor there. We have these external pressures and stress. We internalize them for a period of time, but we need to transfer that energy to somebody else because we can't handle it, right? So we go home, we talk to our moms, we talk to our aunts, we talk to our girlfriends, but we talk to the women in our lives because the men won't listen to you about this stuff, by the way. And we pass all of our trauma and all of our stress onto them. Now we're unburdened and they're burdened. And not only do they have to worry about our trauma and our stress, they still have their own. Are you going to tell me that that's not true? You gonna tell me men don't dump all that, men don't be pillow talking? Men, the only time men go to therapy is they think therapy is talking to their wife. They think therapy is talking to their girlfriend. Y'all gonna tell me I'm lying? I'm making that up, right? Because men love therapy. Men love going to get professional help. Men love getting on meds. Or do men like drinking and then talking shit to their girlfriends? You tell me.
So you don't believe that you're qualified to speak to a young man? To educate and guide a young man?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I think I'm solid when it comes to giving advice to young men. Me personally. Because I'm not a bitter old man. Actually, listen. Me personally, I actually listen, and I'm becoming more progressive the older I get, not less progressive. I'm becoming more open-minded the older I get, right?
Do you think in this day and age there are more older men, right, like ourselves, that these young men can look up to, that they can come to and get advice?
Do I think there's more of these men?
Yeah.
Than when?
Than, let's say, 100 years ago.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah, I think men are slightly better for all intents and purposes than men 50 years ago, men 30 years ago. I do. Slightly better. But, I mean, we were in hell, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, we're slightly better. Cool. And the reason why I can say that is because we're forced to be better, though. We have to be slightly better because society has progressed somewhat. You know what I'm saying? So same thing, white people, they're slightly less racist or whatever you want to say. They're still, you know what I mean? The system is still there, though, that's the most important thing. The system is still in place.
Yeah, the system is still in place and it's slowly changing. So when I was bringing up my talking point, because I understand where you were coming from, but I had to let you get out what you were saying. I'm relating more to now. I think that the old bitter men are dying off, and the men like you, the progressive ones, the ones that are more open-minded, are around for our young men to learn from, because regardless, they're going to have to learn from somebody. And I think there's more of us now than there are of these bitter old men. That's why I say these young men already can identify those old, bitter old men, and they don't really indulge them too much.
That's the same logic we've been telling ourselves about racism, and it's not true. Sorry. So I'm sorry. I really wish it was true, but it's not true. I promise you. If it were true, the world would look different. It's just not true. There are slightly more men who are slightly better. You know what I'm saying? Like, no doubt about it. There's slightly more men who are slightly better. There are always, it was never like all the men at any point in time were any one way. But there are, if 100 years ago it was 2% of men were like that, now it's 4% of men. You see what I'm saying? So it doubled. It's 100% better, but it's still terrible. It's still, the vast majority of men are not progressive. The vast majority of men are abusers or users or violent or whatever the case may be. The vast majority. Most of us on this panel, like, no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. I'm not saying you be laying hands on you. I'm not talking about that type of abuse for everybody. I'm saying, but neglect, manipulation, gaslighting, things of that nature, right? So I want to go to Saint, and then I'm gonna go back to or was it James? Hold on, James, you were trying to say something earlier. My bad, brother. Oh, James, are you there, or I don't remember, or Saint? One of you guys could go. I just want to open it up because I think we've had a good amount of dialogue between me and Jason. Are you guys there? Anybody there? Here, I'll help Saint unmute. There you go.
I'm here, man. I'll listen to you doing a little work. I apologize. But
you go.
I hear what you're saying and what you're coming from, but a lot of this stuff, man, is cold-blooded perspective and understanding, because accountability, I can get with that. We need to take accountability for things that we've done and how we are, and we're not going to be progressive. And the reason why I say that, we're winning. We're in control of the world. Why would I endeavor to change? Even when we're talking in the manners of women's rights, who gave them their rights, which was men, So even in that manner, they ain't going to go to war and take it from us. We know how that would go. So we gave it to them, if we're being honest.
I think it's more like what men. I don't we don't give people rights. You can only restrict a right. Right? We're all born with whatever right, whatever you can do.
Rights.
Yeah, inalienable rights. So we can only restrict rights, right? So it's all about men restricting rights, and that's what we've been doing. Hold on, only one white team man sent. Oh, so we got a look. It look like we got a KKK member in the thing. Go ahead. All right, but go ahead and finish. I'm listening.
And I'm not trying to offend nobody on the panel or sound sexist or none of that. But a great deal of our problems came into play is when we, let's say for lack of term, stopped restricting the rights, and we did allow women to start doing these things, and et cetera, because we took in consideration of their feelings, which is unlike us as men, which is very contrary to what you're saying. We took in consideration of their feelings and started allowing them to do this and speak and vote, et cetera, but it seemed to be more problematic than ever, because even on your numbers, when you said 45% when we're speaking back on marriage, the majority of the men still is doing the work. It's not going to be and I wouldn't even expect a woman to accept a man not doing work, because that'll be very unwomanlike of her. But my point is, we can have accountability, but as I guess it was Jason saying, it's the other side of the coin, and we're looking at we're compartmentalizing it. We're looking at it from one demographic, and we can't do that, because a lot of bitterness, as I had told you earlier, it's necessary. It comes from hardship of life. You disagree with that?
I disagree with a lot you just said, but the thing that really stands out to me is you said that things became worse when we gave women's rights.
Oh yeah.
Who did it become worse for? Who did it become worse for? Yeah, but who did it become worse for though? Saint?
Society.
No.
Society.
Not society.
I would never have voted. Let me respond. Let me respond adequately. I would never have voted my wife and or daughters into working, because most people don't like working. Go figure, they ain't gonna like it. It didn't make things easier. You know what I mean? I know a couple. I'm not gonna get into those numbers, but it didn't make things easier. So yeah, I'm upset that my wife and them and most Americans have to have a 2-income household.
But you're missing the point. That's not because you're okay. If you want that to change, we have to change the economy. If you want that to change, if you want I have an economic system where we won't really have to work at all. Where we could work a few hours a day, and we have an abundance of everything, right? So you do realize like we don't need to work 40 hours a week as human beings. We live like we have enough technology now where we could be free and do what we wanted. We could paint, and we could, you know what I'm saying? You could go roll around in the grass, and you could play with your kids, and you could do all this stuff if you wanted to. But we have an economic system that is predatory. So it
What's
forces.
Your age range, you don't mind me asking?
You said what?
What's your age range? You don't mind me asking?
I'm 42.
Okay, you're a little older than me. But the reason why I asked that is because we do have a system to do that. But now it's going to come down to a lot of ethics and principles, man. We got these kids sitting up not doing nothing. America's overweight. I wouldn't recommend not working. We want to get lazy and complacent. I mean, come on, man. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't want to go and say what he said, but we are men, and
you know what makes men lazy? You know what makes people lazy and complacent? More than anything, not working. That doesn't make you lazy and complacent. You know what makes men lazy and complacent more than anything? A lack of opportunities and a lack of resources, because they feel defeated, so they shut down. Laziness is without a doubt. Laziness isn't a disease. It's a symptom. You're not born lazy, right? So like, for an example, what shows up as laziness in a lot of people sometimes is ADHD. They just can't focus. So it looks like laziness to you, like, oh, you're lazy, and we'll come to find out they have ADHD. So if you address the ADHD, they'll be more productive, right? Laziness is a symptom, not a disease. Most people are not lazy. Most people like to contribute to society in a meaningful way. Most people do. We are social beings. We're naturally, we are conditioned to be like that. Naturally, every human being is naturally conditioned to contribute to society in some way, shape, or form. Naturally, most people are, right? So when you find a bunch of people not doing that on a massive scale, that is a systemic failure, typically. So then you have to start to address the system. You have to say, well, why are there so many lazy people? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Of course, there's always going to be a group of lazy people, right? Don't get me wrong. But that group should be really, 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 really small. But if you look at the numbers right now, you see the amount of specifically men who are checking out of working, and you get into the why. There's no resources. They don't have any hope. They're like, well, why would I work? What's in it for me?
I mean, I can't agree with that wholeheartedly, man, because as a man, I got to be persevering. I got to persevere.
Hold on. What is the relevancy of your comment? Think about what I'm saying. I feel like you guys don't process the shit that I'm saying, and y'all just respond.
Listen, I'm not just responding to you. What I'm saying is you were speaking, and I'm trying to articulate my words so it's not offensive for TikTok, man. And nor do I want to sound sexist. You were speaking in the terms of men, and it does sound like an attack on men, because the boy said, well, you're a man too, and I understood what you said. Coke mentality, can't stand it. But we being realistic.
Saint, how is it an attack on men if I say the system is failing men? How is that an attack on men?
Let me tell you, when you said you can't be responsible for the good stuff and the bad stuff simultaneously, and yet we are.
You can't be.
We are. You said. Let me tell you what you said. You went on to say, to elaborate, that you didn't have your father there. You didn't grow up with your father. How could and that kills me when people say that. You can't give somebody credit who's not there, good nor bad. He's not there. So if you grow up terrible, the person who's there is the one who's responsible for you growing up there, be it if it was your mother. Not because your father wasn't there, he doesn't get credit. Because if you end up being successful, he ain't going to get credit for you being successful when he's not there. So
he can only get credit if he can only be held. He's only responsible for the damage he's done. He can't be responsible for any of the good things because he wasn't there, because his absence is a net negative. You see what I'm saying? His absence is a negative. That is abuse. Hold on, wait, Saint, do you know that the number one form of abuse is neglect?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay, so if a father isn't there, is that not abusive?
Now we got to talk about the context of why you're not there in the mirror. I ain't talking about everywhere else. Sir,
do you not? Hold on. I got to mute you up. Do you see what you just did again? I just asked you a very rational question, and you just deflected and just said something that was nonsensical. Logically, you just said it. We're on, like this. Here's how I know there's a disconnect. The cognitive dissonance is real. I just asked you, do you know that the largest form of abuse is neglect? And you said, yeah, I know that. And I said, okay, so if a father abandons a child, is that not abuse? And then you said, instead of saying yes, because that's the answer, by the way, you said, well, you got to look at America. What the hell are you talking about? Well, how can I take our conversation seriously moving forward? You just keep pivoting to something else. And you're going to be this man, by the way, if you're not already this man. I guarantee you're on the fast track to being the bitter man I'm talking about. You will not accept accountability. And we're not even doing it for yourself right now, Saint. That's how I know you can't do it for yourself, because you can't do it for the group. You fight me on the group who let you tell it don't even apply to you. Gonna tell me you the best dad in the world, that you show up all the time. Okay, cool. So if it ain't about you, we just can't like apply it to the group in general and just say, yeah, this is what men be doing. You gonna fight me tooth and nail for the group, and you want me to believe that, but individually you take accountability in your real life. Get that? No, unbelievable. Logically speaking, that does not track. That does not track. If you take accountability in your real life, it would be easy for you to take accountability right now, because this ain't even about you. This is about the group. This is about men in general. This ain't about every man. This is about men in general. This is about the cult. That's like that. This is crazy. That's not logical, sir. Saint, stop. Nothing you said has been logical.
Hey, host.
I promise you. Go ahead.
I got a question. This is Jason. So,
yeah,
we're not being specific on just a race of men. We're talking about all.
I'm talking about men in general, brother. Because this is not a black man thing, and I know, and I want to help black men understand this. I got a panel full of black men. I love it. Black men, stop taking issues that are global phenomena, that black, white, every group, every ethnicity of man is a part of this cult. Stop saying black men or white. Stop doing that, because when you talk about it from our perspective only, what you do, you end up essentially making black men the face of it, or you're trying to distance black men from it. And either way, it's wrong, because we are a part of the problem. See what I'm saying? So, but I don't want to be the face of the problem, because we don't. What control do we have in this society for as far as over the overall system? We don't control the overall system, right? We impact our communities tremendously, but we don't control the overall system. So there's no need for me to talk about black men specifically when I'm talking about a systemic issue. But that black men perpetuate, that black men, in the short term benefit from to some extent. That's why we perpetuate it, right? Because we in the short term we benefit from the patriarchy. In the short term, long term we don't, but in the short term we do, right? So there's no need in us saying, we're not black men, we ain't got nothing to do with it. We do. And there's no need in us acting like we're the problem when we're just a part of the problem. We're a part of the problem. We're not the problem. We're not the problem. We're part of it. Right? Let us for once not bash black people. For one time, let's do it. I can barely hear you, brother.
I said, you said two things which I love. One, we're around the same age, so I know we think alike, right? You said something that was really great. Now, I joined real late in this convo, so I know you guys probably already touched it, so I apologize.
You good?
Lack of opportunity and resources is what created a lot of these old, bitter men, right? And you said that, I kind of had to go back in my brain and remember, okay, this is the class of men he's talking about, which are still around right now, which is like our old uncles and grandfathers and fathers and stuff like that, because they went through a very traumatic time where the opportunity was just not there for them. They didn't have the resources to really go out and get it like we have the resources now. So, I kind of wanted to touch and agree on what you had said earlier. Saint was going Saint was going a little bit left, you know, and I would love for him to touch more and try to explain more, but we got to definitely guide him back right so he can see the overall picture, man.
Saying women don't saying that our problems got worse is when we let women, when we gave women more rights and made it less restrictive for them is highly offensive. And I don't know if he knows that, but that is highly offensive. Because imagine if a white T man got up here and said, when this country really started to go down the drain is when black people got their rights. Wouldn't that be highly offensive?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be wouldn't that be crazy? That's abhorrent for somebody to say that, right?
Exactly.
But men say stuff like that about women all the time. All the time. Race, we understand. Race, we know how to tiptoe around. We know how to navigate. But when it comes to women, we'll just say the most outlandish, disrespectful stuff about a group of people, and then you expect me to take you seriously. You moving forward. You like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I would like if I was, I promise you, if I was up here and you were a white T man and you said that, every black person would jump on you. Every black person would be like, "Oh, that's crazy." Da 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 da. He said that, y'all didn't bat an eye. Nobody came off mute and was like, "What? That's crazy." I was the only one that said, "Hey, that," you know what I'm saying? The women clocked it, and very few men clocked it. That's problematic. To me, that's problematic as hell. That, and I'm not. Okay.
I clocked it, but I wanted to be respectful because I didn't want to get thrown off the panel by.
No, you good. I ain't throwing nobody. Hey, only way to get dropped is this right here. I ain't gonna drop you unless you say, unless you start being belligerent.
Somebody gonna pay $50 to drop me, yo. Now you done did it to me, whole god. I'm
the money that's been up there the whole time. They know. They know the rules, baby. I'm surprised. Hey, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm surprised none of y'all got dropped yet. I ain't gonna hold you.
I seen the comments for myself. They was like, "Oh, Jay can't see." Lead him to the light, host. I was like, "Damn, they gonna drop me."
I thought it was, but is it Yahtzee? Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's good?
So I'm probably one of the younger men you talking about because I'm 20 years old. You feel me? And I don't know. I feel like you should listen to old men, but you shouldn't take everything they say to heart. Like every advice they give, you feel like a need to apply it to your life. I feel like that's the problem because what they did during their time period, they feel like it's gonna work out for you in your time period. That's not the case. Because there's certain things you were able to do back then that you can't do now.
Facts.
They don't understand that, and that's where that bitterness and that
name something that an old head could do way easier than a young man can do nowadays.
You can do nowadays.
Name something that somebody from like Gen X and beyond, so 45-year-old and older.
Shit, I don't know what. I mean, better than us?
What opportunities do they have?
Oh, what opportunities?
Yeah. Did they have?
Buy a house. Yeah, buy a house.
There you go. Buy a house.
Buy a house. There's also, like college back then.
And go to college.
They were able to go to college. Right now, Gen Z, most of us, I saw the statistic, most of us are not seeing a house.
Yeah, you're not.
And then college tuition is like, it's
outlandish. Yeah. So they're starving you out. So as a young man, is that not daunting?
Yeah.
You're looking at your future and they're saying most of your generation won't be able to buy a house and most of your generation can't afford to get educated. Most of your generation you're going to make less money for the first time in history in this country than the generation before you. Do you see how that can make a group of people want to check out from society?
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Saint wasn't understanding that. That's what I'm saying. That's what it'll look like laziness. But when you do the math on it, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to buy a home. I can't get an education. I can't
Yeah. And majority of men, they don't see that. There's some old heads that understand that, yeah, we got the short end of the stick. But majority of them say, "Oh, you're not working hard enough." It's
Yeah.
excuses. That's what I heard. It's
Yeah.
excuses.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you spitting. That's what I'm saying. That is Yahtzee. Is that not common?
It is common.
Older people blaming younger people for, oh, you just got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's not the system. It's you, Yahtzee. You just not working hard enough. You're lazy. You're fat. You're overweight. Like, whatever. Like, is that not disrespectful? You sitting there like, what are you talking? What?
Yeah. It's all I've heard, man. It's all I heard growing up.
So when I say don't listen to old men, why does it sound so crazy? When most old men and women are most for sure old men are telling you exactly what I just said. No empathy whatsoever, no understanding, not listening to you. Why would you listen to that?
You shouldn't have to. That's demotivating.
I didn't say you had to. I'm saying why would you?
I don't know. I mean, most of these old men, like, you know what I'm saying, are like figures in like these younger men's lives. So they feel like they have to. And there's also this whole thing like you got to respect your elders and stuff like that. So I feel like that it also like ties in. But what they don't realize is most of them, some of the stuff they saying, it's not true. And what they're saying is it is not going to be used to motivate you. It's there to demotivate you, actually. And they think it's for motivation. It's not for motivation.
That's crazy hearing that from a young man. I've been being gaslit this whole night, and people have been trying to tell me like what I'm saying is not making sense. But thank you, 20-year-old Yahtzee, for saying
no problem.
that this is what these old men are telling you, and this is what I've been saying because I know what old men say, because I know what old men were telling me, and they were telling me a bunch of BS, tons of BS, and I didn't know it. You know what old men used to always tell me? One of the things that stood out to me, they would always say stuff like, especially like with my kids and stuff like that. Like I would question stuff about them. I'd be like, why would you do that? Or like, why ain't you around your kids? And I would say, and they'd be like, you'll see when you get older. And then I got older and I had kids, and guess what? I realized that they were some freaking liars. I realized that they were selfish. I realized that they were narcissists. Like that's what ended up happening. I ended up seeing the truth when I had kids. Like when I had my own kids, I was like, wait, how could you just abandon your kids? Like, how could you just have like 5 kids all around town and like not show up for any of them? Like, that's crazy. That's wild. How could you just leave your wife with 6 children, Grandpa? They swore up and down when I got older I would understand. Here I am, and they were right. I do understand. But they thought I would understand their position. They thought I would understand it from their perspective. I don't. I don't. I'm like, what?
They
you guys
also
are terrible.
Something along the lines, when you grow up, you gonna thank me.
They
say that too.
For whooping you, for abusing you, for neglecting you. I'm making you tougher. No, you're not. You're making me weaker. Every time you hit a kid, you make them weaker. You don't make them stronger. You break them down. That's what you're doing to them. You're beating them down. It's crazy, man. So I'm just not understanding why this is such a hard concept for a lot of men to understand. But I got a younger man up here, Double T. I don't think he's 20. Double T, are you 20?
I'm somewhere around 20.
Somewhere around 20? Okay.
A little bit old, 20. Older than 20.
Okay. I was just curious. I just want to know if you guys are in the same generation, Gen Z. And you haven't had the similar experience to Yahtzee? That's not what the older men have been telling you?
I mean, I think the levels of our issues with old men are way different. My issues with older men are y'all are stupid as hell because y'all could have fought for our rights in certain in different ways, basically. So, and the system, like, I'm not gonna lie, the system you keep bringing up, that's the white man shit. We don't benefit off that shit, man. I'm just gonna be real. So,
nobody does though. I mean, I won't say nobody, but white men don't benefit from it either.
Oh yeah, you got a little bit of that too. But either way, controlled by families, all that other yada yada yada.
A group of people benefit, like, to me, from the patriarchy, but black men also have a short-term benefit built into the patriarchy. You have an advantage as a man. You have advantages over women. So black men also benefit from the patriarchy.
I guess, man, but the way they
You
have
don't.
us in media
I'm
and
not talking about
things
that.
like
I'm
that, and our
black black
conditioning,
black women are vilified. And whatever you can say about black men, black women get it too. But then they get it also because they're women. They get it doubly bad, right? So, let's get beyond it. I'm just talking about the material world. Are you telling me that black men don't have an advantage over black women?
I mean, I don't really think so, to be honest with you.
Interesting.
If
So,
black women are more educated than black men, I mean, and it's obviously an incentive in high school for women to go to college or get in
no,
certain medical fields, I mean,
no. Why do
you
you
know,
think? Why do you think? Why do you think? That's not just black men. You know, white men also go to college far less than, or not far less. White men also, shoot, yeah, kind of far less, double digits, I think somewhere.
oh
They go
yeah,
to college
for
less
sure.
than white women do, and the only group of people that go to college, relatively at the same rate are Asian people. But black women, Latino men, Latino women, Latino women go to college more than Latino men. So
I
you're not
mean, that
following
would
that.
that would make sense based on our current reality because the Asiatic people they're currently the head in technology, period. So
But take them
I
out of it.
mean,
I'm saying, are you not following the trend that men in all of these groups are not going to college, but the women are? They're going to college more than the men. Are you not following that trend? You're not making that connection?
no, I am making that connection, and I'm
Okay.
stating from that connection it would make sense in reality based on a woman's nature because a woman is more social than men, period.
What do they got to
So
do with college?
it would make sense for women to further go to college to enhance their knowledge because they're just
That don't got nothing to do
women and
with
how they
social though,
are.
brother. That
Yes,
didn't
it
make,
does. Yes,
what
it
is,
does. You
getting an
extend your
education
social
is,
life for 4 years artificially.
you can go to college online. What are you talking about?
Of course, you extend your social life 4 years in knowledge.
You can go to college online. What are you talking
Of
about?
course,
That's
but you're
not
also
extending your
probably,
social life. You're literally in a room at home going to college.
but that is not what most of them are doing. Most of
I
them are
know.
going straight to college
I know.
in
So
person.
listen to what I'm saying. You said women are more social. Okay, cool. So
No,
that makes sense that
no.
they would go. Hold on,
But
listen.
based on the
That
stats you mentioned,
listen, sir. That makes sense to you. So you're saying that's why they want to go to college because they're more social, which that's not the reason why. But anyways, so they go to college, whatever. Cool. I'm
what's the
saying,
reason?
hold on. I'm saying men also can go to college, and since we're not as social, we can go to online college, right? But we not so if it's a social thing, then why don't we just go to online college? That's my point. But men aren't going to online college, and men aren't going to regular universities either, in-person universities, because men demonize and vilify education. That's not a new phenomenon, by the way. That's been around for a long time, right? They burned Galileo at the stake. Men do not value education. We don't. I'm talking about as a group. We're afraid of it, to be honest with you. Historically, we've been afraid of education and people who are educated, right? Especially women. Educated women scare that, but they scare the heck out of us. So men are when you're on the fast track to a higher education, typically those kids get made fun of by their peers, by their male peers. Women aren't making fun. The girls aren't making fun of them. Like, oh, look at you reading. Like, women don't say stuff like that to boys, right? Women read. Women are reading. Oh, you reading? Oh, what are you reading, Jason? What are you reading, Double T? Right? It's the boys that's like, oh, I see you like to read. You think you're smarter than me. That's men that typically, especially on my platform, I see it all the time. Men are threatened by men who they feel like are more intelligent than they are. Men are threatened by men who they feel like are more attractive than they are. Men are threatened by men who make more money than men are like mice. Men are afraid of. We're afraid of our own shadow. We're threatened by everything. Everything threatens us, right? But especially education. Education threatens the hell out of other men, right? But for some reason, and here's the conundrum, for some reason, we refuse to go get educated, right? We keep lying to other men and telling them, you don't got to get educated. Just start a business, build your empire. Bro, go to college. You don't want to go into debt. You absolutely do want to go into debt. For college, you absolutely do. Owning a home, you absolutely do want to go into debt for owning a home. You don't want to
I
go.
think that's financial irresponsibility, my man.
You
I think
don't go.
people
You
get
don't want to
too.
go into debt. You don't want to go into debt to buy a
Yeah, I think
Hellcat.
that's straight up financial irresponsibility, my man.
I bet you don't
Because
know. I bet you don't know anything about college debt.
okay,
I bet you don't know how much money you make once you get a degree versus people who don't have a degree, right? Because if you did, you wouldn't make that statement. That doesn't make sense. How is that irresponsible?
that's not how men apply our knowledge to life.
What does that mean?
Whatever you want to, my man.
Men don't apply our what is that? I don't know what that means. Seriously, I'm dead serious. What does that mean?
That's not how most men apply our knowledge that we learn to our reality. That's not how we build. That's not how we protect, and that's not mostly how we love, my man.
What are you talking about? You talking about getting an education?
Listen, double.
Damn, my
You
man.
got it. Double. Just relax, right, and just take your
God damn,
time
man.
and explain yourself.
I mean, man, he kind of work around with plausible deniability a lot,
No,
man. I'm not
just
gonna lie.
explain your point, right? Because don't look at the comments or anything else. Explain your point so that we can help educate you on the points that are a little skewed and help you along the way. You're gonna formulate your own opinion anyway, but just
No, I know these things, so I'm not really gonna.
Okay, can you explain to me what you mean? Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, no.
Are you there?
Hmm. I'm here.
Okay, can you explain to me what you mean? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. That
I
you said
mean,
that's not how we apply our knowledge. I don't know what you mean. Are you talking about that
I mean
getting?
that's not how most men apply their knowledge throughout life, my man.
I know you said that, but what do you mean by that? I don't know what you're talking about. When you say that, what is the
We
that?
mostly apply it through action, like I said, through building things like that of that nature.
So most men build stuff.
Man, come on, you bullshitting.
Are you bullshitting? I don't. You just saying stuff. What are you
You
talking about?
bullshitting.
When was the last thing you built?
A shed?
You built a
What's the last
shed.
thing you built? Yeah,
Cool. I haven't. I don't build stuff.
exactly. You should, as a man.
No, but wait. Double T. Come on, brother. Why should I
Hmm.
build stuff?
Hmm.
That's not my interest. Not all men should build stuff. If you want to build a shed, build a shed. I'm not knocking you for it. But most men don't be building stuff. Most men aren't carpenters. What are you talking about?
Right.
That logic, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why a lot of men are ignorant. A lot of men don't, you don't go to college because you're afraid to get a degree. You're afraid. You just said that that's financially irresponsible, right? How much money do you make on average if you don't have a degree?
Not enough.
How much money do you make if you have a degree? Probably still not enough technically, but you make more money. You make enough
Definitely.
money to justify you getting a degree.
Yeah, because like what 90% of people graduate high school. Everybody's gonna have a high school degree, so that's not like you need a degree to set yourself away from the rest. That's how you get paid more. Everyone should know that.
Well, Double T doesn't know that. He's rationalizing not going to college, and that's my point. That a lot of men think like Double T. I'm not even joking. A lot of men think just like that. A lot of men think that you like going to college is bad or it's like a setup or oh it ain't gonna work. Like, bro, you do realize that you go to college for more reasons than to just make money as well, right? You go to college to be educated. You go to college so you can learn how to think, right? So you can have critical thinking abilities and things of that nature. That helps you. That helps you be healthier. That helps you live
Right. Being
longer.
indoctrinated, right.
Also,
Hmm.
you can also go to college for connections too. Certain jobs that won't hire you if you don't go to a specific college.
Indoctrinated in a what?
Hmm. Hmm.
Are you just saying stuff that you sound like you heard this from like somebody you're talking about it like it's the boogeyman. Like, you know, what's good about college? Let me ask you that.
I don't know. You tell me. You the college guy. Shit.
Sir, what's good about instead of look, don't get offensive. Don't get offended. Try not
I
to.
mean, I'm not offended. I
You
mean,
are. You're acting, sir. There's no need to lie. No. You're acting like a child. Honestly, don't be offended. You can drop if you want to. That's fine. If you don't have anything else to add, if you can't have the conversation, it's making you upset. Whatever the case may be, I understand.
I
Check
mean,
out.
I'm
That's
I'm
fine.
not upset. I'm
Okay,
chilling.
then have
You
the
know?
conversation. Stop mumbling. Speak up like you've been doing this whole time, right? Like, and answer the question. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What are you talking about indoctrination? Indoctrinated into what? What is the indoctrination? What does college teach you? Be
Mhm.
specific.
That boy said, "Ask me if I'm hotel."
No. Bro,
But
are you
yeah,
reading
you
the
gonna control
comments?
the system at that college or wherever you going, my man.
Sir,
You going to straight
what
up
are
get
they, how are
indoctrinated.
they indoctrinating you and what are they what is the indoctrination? What does it entail? That's what I'm asking you.
Hmm. I don't know. You tell me, my
You
man.
don't know. But you don't know though, Double T.
Do I and do I don't know? Obviously, you don't either.
Because I don't believe it. You see how stupid that is? Of course I don't
Exactly.
believe college is
I
indoctrinating
mean,
you.
just like the perspectives you be trying to push. I mean, my
What?
G.
Double
I
T.
mean, my G.
Okay,
I
hold on,
mean,
bro.
you
Hold on,
gotta
man.
be a.
Hold on, bro. You must be tired. You must be tired. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Sir, you made the claim that higher education is a form of indoctrination. I asked you, how are you indoctrinated? How do they indoctrinate you? What does indoctrination look like? You don't think that was a fair question? You just made a random statement. You just said it's indoctrination. Listen to your excuses. First, you said it's financially irresponsible. It's not. They make more money than you. Even having to pay student loan debt, a college graduate makes more money than Double T on average. Even having to pay, even having to pay the loan back, right? You don't gotta, sir. You do realize there are a billion ways to go to college. You don't have. You could go to city college for 2 years, go to university for 2 years, and go to a state university, a local state university. It's expensive, but it ain't. You'll be all right. Now you want to go out of state? Cool. You want them to pay for your room and board, all of that stuff. Cool. Got you. Yeah, it's gonna add up. But you want to go to like go to your local city college and go to your local state college and go and stay at home for 4 years and go to college, you'll be fine. You can do that. That's not crazy. You can do that. That's not crazy. Right? But I'm just saying the thing that I'm not understanding is why are you convincing yourself that getting a higher education is not for you? Because that's all you're doing. You're just making up excuses. Right? Like nothing you're saying is like logical. You're just like, oh yeah, college is for people that want to be indoctrinated. Like what? Indoctrinated into what? It's crazy. It's wild. It's wild takes. Wild takes. Saint, are you still there? I don't know if you're still there, brother. I'm about to rotate. Def Dad, what's good with it, broski?
Not much. I was gonna say something. That whole scenario that you just walked through with that young man. The young man sounded like he may not have had any guidance from an older male, and in a lot of situations, I'm 46, as you know. Um, as we grow, like the gentleman said, and like I agree with you, kind of in the beginning, we all have to deal with our emotional intelligence issues, the issues we grew up through, we came through. We have to get rid of that baggage, whatever it may be. But we just saw what happens when our younger men have no leadership and no guidance from an older male, which is what you just did. You weren't bitter, but you had to explain to him that the truth is that college is a great idea. It's not a bad idea at all. And it may be a little tough on him, but still he needs to try it out. But I think as a group, we all need to, number one, be accountable for the things we have to face and go through, work through some therapy. I go to therapy every other day. I'm a therapy guy. So I'm one of those guys that deals with my therapist, works on my emotional intelligence, self-awareness, regulation, social skills, motivation, all those things. But without the young people having a good man or male role model, or shoot, in some instances, a good woman that can just talk through situations is healthy too. But what we just saw was an example of a young man that did not have any older male to guide him in a good direction, and you just did exactly what kind of your theme is here. I just was saying it was very interesting to watch.
I don't know. I feel you. I don't know if it's a man thing. I don't know if a woman has told him. I'm pretty sure women. I don't know. I don't know if that man. Double D can answer for himself. He could have had a dad in his life. I have no idea. I have no idea because I've been around men who literally told their kids college is for brainiacs. If you don't want to go the brainiac route, literally about college. And I was like, me and my wife was in the room when they said it. We was looking. They said it to their kid, and me and my wife looked at each other like, "What the what?" Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Who's a weak ass man, Double T? I'm sorry I upset you, Double T. I apologize, brother. And that's what I'm saying. This is what I be talking about. Men you gotta coddle men. You gotta, hold men with kitty gloves or whatever. Go ahead, Saint. Y'all love proving me right in real time. How gentle you gotta be with a man. Just how much more gentle do I need to be with a man? Seriously.
Well, hold on now, but this goes back to your whole topic up top, though, because he's a younger man, right? And I hear you're trying to guide him and trying to show him where he's misspeaking or where he's being misled a little bit. But the comments, I think, is just messing him up, man. I think the comments probably rattled him a little bit. But I want him to still speak more so we can, kind of shape and guide him, because we are the older men that he's talking to now and expressing himself. So we got to help him, shift that focus a little bit. Even if it's just a small shift, it could still help him in the long run.
But he don't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree with that right there. That part right there. To your point that you have is where we can prove right now that a lot of us are not bitter and we are willing to talk through any situation with a younger man to play the part of let's do better as a unit, right? It takes a whole village. So here we have a village. So let's talk it out.
Hey, if y'all
the
want
young man
to,
hurt though. He hurt. I mean,
he
it's
is.
facts. We looking at it live. Right
No,
here,
for
right
sure.
here.
No, he is. I know. And I don't want to add insult to injury, but it's tough, man. I don't know. I don't think you want to listen. But go ahead. I done unmuted you like 5 times, Saint. I can't unmute you just so that I can only send you an invite. You got to unmute yourself. I don't know if you're driving or not. You got to unmute yourself though. If you can't unmute, I might have to drop you and then come back up. I could bring you back up maybe.
The women are vicious right now in the comments
Come back up, Saint.
on Double
What
T.
they saying?
Vicious.
The women are vicious.
Me personally though, I don't think nothing with public saying is crazy. I mean, double, I understand where you're coming from. Like, you don't have to go to college. College is not for everyone. But
It's not.
That don't mean it's a bad idea. People would do anything to go to college. People are going to the military to go to college. People are going, like me personally, right? I used to play basketball. I was a state champ. But guess what? I ain't got no offers because I wasn't 6'6" or nothing crazy. But what? I got a scholarship. I used that to go to college. I used that to go to college. Because what? I can't sit in my house all day.
Congratulations, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's exactly right. I'm not even telling him to go to college. I'm not saying don't go, but I'm just saying like that false perception of college and education, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that's the thing that I'm talking about. Where did you hear that from? Who told you college indoctrinates you? Who told you that it's financially irresponsible? Because you've never done the math on it. That, like, I know people like how do you know? I know because I know the math on it. So if you do the math on it, it makes sense. Furthermore, I don't care. You go to college to get educated. You don't go to college to make $1 million. You go to college to get an education. You go to college to get an education. You go to college to get an education. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. First and foremost, that's what it's for. Telling people stupid stuff like, oh, so if you go for these bad degrees and blah, blah, there is no such thing as a bad degree. You go to college, you get an education. You're educated now. You're more educated than you were before, presumably. That's what it's for. What you do with it after the fact, that's on you. But you go to get an education. That's crazy, man. He didn't hear from an older man. I bet you he heard that from an older man. That's the stuff older men be saying. I've heard older men say that.
Yeah, he got that from an older man.
They do be, especially if they're not from America. See, that
nah. The ones from America, Yahtzee, they be coming on my panel. I done heard them say verbatim the same thing Double T said. Oh, see, these women are, but who got the most debt? Black women got the most debt because they go to, they be trying to flip. I'm like, how did y'all flip getting a degree into a negative? That's a sick. Y'all sick. Like I've heard them do that so many times. Oh, so so you black women, y'all got all these houses now, huh? Okay, you got debt. That's the same thing. I'm like, yeah, they got a house. That's fine. They got debt, but that's a house. That's fine. They got debt, but it's a degree. Y'all got credit card debt. you got a Hellcat in your name. That's a debt you got, and you mad at her because she got a house and a degree. It's not the same. It's not the same. Y'all not like them.
That's crazy. You can't escape debt. I mean, if you want to build your credit, you're gonna have to be in debt at some point.
Yeah, and I'm not giving no financial advice. I'm just saying that flies in the face of logic to shame women and say that them having a degree puts them at a disadvantage because they're in debt, and having a home that puts them at a disadvantage because they have a home. But simultaneously, you are in debt too. You're in consumer debt. Who are you to tell anybody about debt? You are in consumer debt, sir. Your credit score is 625. You are in consumer debt right now, up to your eyeballs, and you want to talk about a woman having a degree is a bad investment. For what? That's the shit I be seeing. I ain't gonna even hold. I'm not playing. That is like straight up the shit I be seeing. Who is this up here, man? I don't know your name, brother. Uranus. Yeah, what's up, man? How you say your name? Uranus.
Awareness.
Awareness. Good. All right, I got you.
What's popping? Just for a second, I wanted to. I was following for a little minute. I wanted to kind of equalize, if I could. In the description, basically, it's referring to decent human beings. And I know, a lot of the back and forth came up when certain things that people value, like everybody comes from different worldviews, we all see the world differently. So whether we value how another has to add to society or whether we value how another refuses to add to society, I feel like regardless of what choice anyone chooses to make in that regard, being a decent human being, like a human, I feel like someone can be a decent human being and make a choice on either of those spectrums. So in reference to why younger men and older men clash is because, well, I'm not going to say is because, nobody really knows anything. When it comes to that clash, though, I feel like it was a perfect representation of how that occurs just with Double T's statement, his opinions, his worldview, the way that he currently as his self views the world, regardless of if it aligns with how you see it or anyone who might be able to have the keys of life to get him to be whatever you or another older man might deem a great product of society or reflection of yourself. The clash comes in when younger men speak, no matter what it is, when older men don't really, I'm not gonna say understand, but when it gets lost in translation, when there's a cognitive dissonance,
What do you think?
when
What do you
there's
think? What do you think I'm missing about Double T's statement? What do you think I'm missing?
I don't really think it's anything that you're missing. I feel like Double T really didn't get to speak for real. There were a few things that he said that, in a sense of emotional intelligence, because I've seen that pop up in the comments, there are a few things that anyone would get triggered if they haven't been in a situation where they had to actually answer specific questions in a specific way, especially when I could hear from what he was speaking, it was more, his logic and his wisdom was more from the heart. When
That's
we get
not
into
logic.
the logistics of how humans show up in the world,
awareness.
it's all subjective.
Awareness. That's not
Yes.
that's not logic and wisdom if it's from the heart. Right?
True. That's true.
Right?
That's actually true. Yes.
Yeah. So
I can say
he
that.
was not speaking logically. He was speaking from his heart, I guess, if you want to call it that. I was speaking logically. The things that I was saying was actually rooted in data and science.
I feel like we gotta bridge that somehow, though. Somehow we gotta find a way to.
Public, hold on. How old are you?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Go for it.
How old are you?
I'm
That's
30.
what you're
He's 30.
30. Okay, so he's basically in the middle. He's right on the cusp. You feel me? So I wanted to know your age, and because your age is going to tell me a bit about your experience and the timeline that you're coming from, so I can better understand and your answer that you're giving.
Well, Jason, wait, real quick. Why do we think reality is like, do you think there's like you have a reality and I have a reality? Because a lot of people say that type of stuff, and it's so odd to me. Like,
I mean, it's called paradigms. It's not. There's an objective reality. It's the reality that we all can see, like
collectively,
we all look up
yes,
and we see the same things.
yeah.
But then
Objective
there's
truth.
subjective realities based on if I look at a stop sign and I feel like I can run it, where you look at a stop sign and you feel like you should stop. Those are two different ways two human beings cognize their world based on whatever experiences they've had, and that creates worldviews.
So
and
that
we
so
all clash with our worldviews, not on what we want from the world and whether we believe somebody is wrong. It's how we've lived our life up until this point, and then when we have a chance to integrate, we are all battling with our worldview.
Hold on, awareness. Here's what I'm saying. Is it illegal to run a stop sign?
Sure.
Okay, that's the point of that story. Yep. No matter what angle you think you could, it don't matter. If you run it, it's illegal.
Correct.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's an objective truth. That's reality.
That's
reality. How reality works.
That is.
Hold on,
that's what I'm saying.
Public, check this out. So my son is 25, and I deal with this a lot. It is our reality because we're a little older, but the reality that he lives in and the situations that he's been faced with, he'll say to me, yeah, but I've run a stop sign and the cops been sitting there and he didn't get pulled over. So I won't necessarily always go to jail, or I won't necessarily always be breaking the law, because if I was, they would stop me. So that's his reality. So now it changed.
But the facts are the facts, though.
And the line. I know what you're going to say. Everybody's going to say it because me and my son go back and forth.
Correct.
Yes. And the fact is, it still stands that you broke the law, son. It doesn't matter. So you cannot continue to do that. But see, with the Double T situation, we have to look at whatever his reality is. We don't know it because we haven't walked it with him. We haven't seen it with him.
Correct.
That's not. But wait. Hold on. Wait. Def that.
I think I used the wrong.
I think the problem with this conversation is, I wasn't talking about Double T himself. He was talking about college, and he was talking about college. He said, if you go to college, it's going to indoctrinate you. So he's saying like that's what happens when you go to college, which I then asked, indoctrinated into what? How does that work? What does it look like? Right? Because I want to know. Maybe I'm missing something. He couldn't explain it because it's not real. Right? So
there's a lack of knowledge on his part, though. That was his misnomer, and it's just the truth. It is a lack of knowledge.
But it's not knowledge. Lack of knowledge. What are you talking about, Dev? What did you do?
There we go. Okay, there we go. You're talking. So explain
No,
to
no,
us.
no, 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 no. What is your deal, man?
My
What is
deal
your
is that
deal?
I
Not
would
the
like to.
knowledge.
Yeah, I want to know why
What you
you
doing?
say we're being indoctrinated and how. So
If I
explain.
may, if I
Hold
may,
on. Wait.
sir.
Wait.
Yeah,
Awareness.
yeah,
Wait.
yeah,
Awareness.
yeah.
Let double
Hold
T
on,
go.
let
Let
double
double
T
T
go.
go,
Y'all got
please.
it.
All right.
Please. No, double T. I just made everybody quiet so you can go,
Y'all got it.
brother.
No, bro, we really want to hear your point of view.
Y'all good. You got it.
This is crazy. All right. Go
Nah, I
ahead.
get double T though. Like I get it, and I want to
I'm not sure
bridge
if he
this.
understands what indoctrination is.
I don't know. He said he got the knowledge, so I was trying to find out what it looked like. I was curious. Have you been to college? Did you
That's
feel
one
like they was
question.
indoctrinating you? What did it look like? What did it sound like? What have you read on this subject? How do they indoctrinate you? Into what? That's all I wanted to know.
Me personally, it sounds like someone that he may have spoke to was older, and they projected their faults and their negativities on like life and everything and their failures onto him, and now he has been crippled by their ideology.
I
Bro, this is why I don't listen to you older niggas at all. I have my own
I'm
business.
30, bro. I'm
hold
not
I'm
on.
dumb.
Wait.
in real
Hold
I'm
estate.
mid
hold
range.
hold on, hold
I'm
on,
in
y'all.
real estate.
Let
I
him go.
made over $200,000 as a 21-year-old in real estate.
Nice.
Period.
I'm happy for you.
Period. That's period.
Yeah.
That's period. My knowledge of economics and money and period and everything far exceeds what you know about me or what you're saying. This is my own perspective. So you assuming or Deaf Dad or Chili or Yahtzee is really making you look like a pillow talker because y'all know there's a bunch of women talking shit in the comments, and that's just really
No, bro. I'm not
disrespect.
reading the
And you know
comments. I'm not. I
how
have
your
my display
comments.
off.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
No, I'm
So
trying to understand what you mean by doctrine, though, because even if you go to a trade school or anything like that, you're still getting a certain level of education. So, what is it really conforming you into be what?
yeah, I guess you could say becoming a real estate agent is indoctrination too, because you got to get educated. That
You
test
don't
ain't
Yeah,
need
you
easy
got
to
to get a
pass.
you
license
don't
for
need
that.
a license to be an agent to do real estate.
In what state?
You don't need a license for wholesale real estate. Is that what you're relating to? You don't need a license to wholesale real
Yeah,
estate. To be
there's
a real estate
exit
agent, you
strategies
need to
in
take a
real estate.
course.
Yeah, I thought you had. That's what my knowledge is on real estate. I thought you had to have a license to sell it. You got to have a license to sell cars. I figured you would have a license to sell houses.
Yeah, you most definitely need a license. You need a
You need
Shit
a
license.
that's
I
not
license.
think
common
I mean
knowledge
here
that
you need a
you men do
license.
not know that is currently hidden from you in plain sight.
So what is it?
Can you repeat that?
No, I already said. So what is it? See, double T. I'm just letting you know. So you got a whole panel full of men up here. If you got something to say it, brother. Stop being cryptic and being coded. Like just say what it is. Say it with your chest. We want to know.
Listen, double T, man. If you're in real estate and you made that, share your knowledge because you as a young man that's in here, I see the chat, I see what they're saying. None of that matters. You know your truth, you know your reality. But if your truth and your reality can help somebody or you can guide someone, put it out there. Us men that are older that you say you don't like to listen to, all we're trying to do is just tweak your perspective a little bit to help you out so you can have a better understanding of the overall picture. You know, you're given some very narrow-minded answer, like you spoke to someone and that's what they told you, and you put that together with your little information, and now you're dispensing it to the world. And we're trying to say, hey, some of that stuff that you're dispensing, that's a little funny and narrow-minded and short-sighted, and we're trying to help you see a bigger picture. So don't be afraid to let your truth out. If you know how to sell
I got
houses
you,
without a
bro.
real
In the
estate license,
future,
let me
when these
know.
college educated women and you college educated men, y'all get married, and she divorce your ass, I need your number, man, because I'm gonna need your house, man. I'm gonna need to help you sell your house.
Why don't you educate us on how you selling the houses so we can do it too? Promote.
No, that's bad business. You obviously don't understand capitalism. That's bad business.
Bro, you're straying away from like the original conversation. You're
If
kind
I
of like
may,
sidestepping.
if I may,
This is interesting.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, awareness.
I feel like a lot of times when we tend to look at people's processes, because everybody has their own processes, right? Whether we agree with them or not, when we're looking at it through an eye of, I want to know this thing because I see it and I want to know how he did it because I'm inspired. That holds a specific energy versus wanting to hear somebody's process in order for them to prove to you that they're competent enough to feel the way that they are currently presenting themselves, right? Nobody wants to share no sauce, no jewels, no gems with anybody who is giving off that energy. So whether he knows something now, when 5 seconds ago y'all were all yelling at this man telling him he needed to go to college, and now it's like a condescending.
I wasn't.
I'm not saying that you were, but
I just want to. I want to be clear. I never told that man to go to college.
I'm just reading the
I
energy.
just told him that
I'm reading the energy.
saying that college is
I'm reading the
a
energy.
bad financial investment. I think
the
that was bad.
And I might be the only one speaking.
I know, but this is my
Double T because he don't want to talk to y'all for real.
Awareness. This is my platform, so I want to be clear. When you say y'all, I would be included in that. But since it's my,
here.
I got you. But since this is actually my live, I'm gonna because I was the one having a conversation with him. I'm telling you, I wasn't saying to go or not to go. That's not what I was saying.
But look at your title.
Then here, what if I give the sauce to what I do?
Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Your title, case in point, is what is being acted out here.
Well, who's bitter?
I don't know.
Then how's it being acted out here?
Maybe ask Double T.
But he's younger than me. I'm 40. I'm
correct.
I'm like 20 years older than him.
The younger one might know something that you don't know, regardless if he can explain it or not correctly or intelligently or articulately, or whether it sounds like it came out of, I don't know, like a textbook. Like, we are human beings. You said decent human being. We didn't say college educated. We didn't say nothing but decent human being. You said young men should not listen to old men because old men feel like they have the complete gems and sauce on what it means to become a decent human being or what it means to be one. When younger people are the newest people on this planet, who are the ones who have to take it over and oversee when y'all get to a certain age, we're gonna be the ones who create the world that y'all are living in. So yes, I get it. Y'all want to make sure that we are creating a world that y'all want to live in. And yeah, we all want to have a vote, right? You know, so
I'm not understanding the relevancy of these comments, brother. I'm not going to even hold you. That's not even.
I know. I'm just here. I'm just a voice. It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying. Awareness. I'm trying hard to track it.
It doesn't matter if you get it. But I want to ask a question.
It should matter though.
Double T. It should, but it doesn't. Double T.
Yeah. It matters to me. I want to.
Do you hear me?
Yo.
You hear me, right?
Yo, I hear you.
Exactly. And that's what matters. Connection. Not separation.
What is he saying, Double T? Hold on. Awareness. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
We have to merge.
Hold on.
We have to understand each other.
Hold on, man. Hold on. These words, these platitudes, they give me a headache. Double T, what was he saying? Explain it to me, because I missed it.
Oh, what was he saying about me? He was basically saying I might have some information that you all just might not be willing to open your perspectives to.
Okay, that's fair. Do you have information? Because I'm open to it if you have it.
I could.
I'm open to it. If you got it, I'm open to it.
Yeah, Double T. I literally.
Hold on, Jason. Hold on, y'all.
All right, I got you. All right.
Let me ask the man a question. I just asked him a question. Can he respond to it? Just want to know. So is that fair?
Oh yeah, what's up?
What information do you have for me that I may not be privy to?
Oh, I mean, man, I told you, you can do real estate without a real estate license, but you said you didn't know that. But
I
there's plenty
did
of people that do real estate deals every day without a license. And,
legally.
yeah, legally the records are very public, my man. So
So
you can go down to your local tax assessor's office, and pull those records, of vacancies, of pre foreclosures, foreclosures, things like that. And like I told Jason earlier, of divorce, ironically, because like I said, it's a big thing that people get divorced nowadays, apparently, especially black people, and
so that's what.
unfortunately
Oh,
that is.
sorry.
But so
But
oh,
that,
yeah, you can go ahead,
I think
man.
somebody already said that that's wholesaling, and they yeah
Oh yeah, Chili touched on that subject,
yeah.
and like I said, big ups to Chili for knowing what wholesaling is. In fact, I use wholesaling. I used it as a catalyst to break into real estate, as they say most people do. So, and I use multiple exit strategies such as subject twos. Like some girl in the comments said, flipping houses. That's a dirty term for it, I would say, but
And how
it
did
ain't
you
like
get the?
that. But
And may I ask, how did you acquire the money initially at 21 years old?
you don't need no money. You don't need no money. I put in the upfront work. But if I was to add money in my processes, going forward, it would have accelerated my process quite a bit though. I would agree.
Okay. I learned something new. I didn't know that you could wholesale houses without a whole. I mean, I'm personally not interested in doing it, but I am interested that you could do that. I think that that's crazy to me. But I mean, you could, because you can't even wholesale cars without a license. You need a license to wholesale cars too, because you need a license to buy the cars from the auction to wholesale
They're
them.
trying to crack down on it. NAR, the National Association of Realtors, they're trying to crack down on it in different states, such as you touched on earlier. You asked me what state, but you know, you can really do it in most states. But they tried cracking down on it a couple times. That's what I mean by certain organizations trying to keep the average person, from making that, a
That's
lot of
good.
money from simple ways.
And so my question is my other question would be, if that's the case, so I just learned something new. So do you not think that I have something to offer you, any information that would be, I mean, not to say it could be helpful to you, I guess, but just
Hey, Mr. Facts just said that I was more intelligent than this whole chat. But I like to that I bestow knowledge upon at least 500 people in your life. And I hope they do go and look these things up. And I do hope y'all the best on y'all journeys and finding these things out and executing these things. And if it's something that you want to pursue, y'all got my
hold on.
TikTok right here.
Hold on, Double T. Did you not hear what I just said? I'm not gonna hold you though. Very important part about intelligence is being able to listen and comprehend. And I asked you a question and you didn't answer my question. So did you not hear it? Like, what was going on? Are you muted, or because I was asking you the question? Double T.
Oh no, my bad, my man.
Are you good? So I was asking you a question. So I'll ask it again. So the same way you just enlightened us on here about wholesaling, well, Chili already knew about that. I don't know whoever else knew about that on the panel. I didn't. The same way you enlightened us on that, which I appreciate, by the way, for doing that labor for me. Do you not think that there's anything that we've been saying that we've been sharing with you tonight that you didn't know before that
Not
might be
really.
of interest to you?
Your lives are always, a point of interest to me. I always like to see, people like to get on there, the internet and show their true nature anyways. But, the way I came on here is not the way I'm presenting myself now. So, and I was really relaxed, but, I would like to have a different personality inside of from my workplace and how I handle work. So, you know, this is social media also. Some people don't understand this is an entertainment. I got on this app to entertain myself.
But what
Deaf
did that have
ass.
to? But what did that have to do? All right, go ahead, Def. I'm sorry, I can't. I gotta get some water. That was crazy. Bang the Cash App one time. Y'all know what it is, man. Hold on. We had 107,000 likes. I appreciate that. It's late. We on a late night live, man. 12 o'clock, 12:05. You got your boy up. Way past his bedtime. I'm sleepy, but I'm having fun. I appreciate everybody that's on the panel right now. Let me take a little break And just take a second, man. Let's take a second to breathe real quick. Take a deep breath in, and we're gonna continue. I just want y'all to know, this shit is wild. These conversations be wild. They be very interesting to me. I'm always interested. I watch the lives back. I have to, because we chop them up. Me and my wife watch them back, and they're always crazy. Like, I'm gonna watch this tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, this was interesting. This is more in the moment. I'm trying to process it, but I know tomorrow it's gonna be like, what? That's so wild. But so hopefully you guys are doing that for me, because I don't get to do it in the moment. But yeah, okay, go ahead, Def Dad. I'm gonna get some water real quick. I'll be right back.
So Double T, do you do tax lien properties and the foreclosed homes, auction foreclosures?
Yeah, actually, I do, mama. Yeah.
Okay, cool,
Tax
cool,
liens?
cool.
Did you say tax liens, right?
Yeah, because I've been doing tax liens for about 15 years. Hey,
Oh
listen,
yeah.
throw me a follow. Let's link up. We can do some business.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
Damn, the comments are just going in.
Hold on. I do investing. And I invest in licensed group homes. I own the
And don't get me wrong.
they
What
have.
I do, what I do isn't honorable at all. It aids in gentrification also, and those are the type of things I tried to touch on in my indoctrination statement. And I'm sorry for interrupting you just then, but you know.
Nah,
You
double
said going to
no.
college is an indoctrination?
Hold on,
Um,
Double T. Finish that statement up, man. I'm listening to you. Don't think I ain't listening to you. Drop your jewels.
oh, I was just saying, what I do, nothing about that is honorable at all either. So, when you do things like that and you find beat up houses like that to turn around and go sell, you aid in gentrification of, mostly the poor communities, which is also Black communities.
So did you say revitalizing the community is not honorable? Is that what you just said?
No, I'm not saying revitalizing it, but that's it becomes a certain factor in gentrification. I mean, it
I
could
mean,
be
that's pretty much the same
revitalizing the
thing. I
neighborhood
feel
on
like,
one hand. For the poor person, it could be gentrification.
yeah, that's only if you price the current residents out of the neighborhood. Then it's a problem because those people grew up there and they have roots there. If you're revitalizing the neighborhood and bringing back wealth into a Black neighborhood and things of that nature, and those people can remain in that location, then that's not really bad for the community. Gentrifying is a different thing because you're pricing those people out of the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, of course. That's just what I tried to say, but I tried to catch myself really bit. But on one hand, it could be that gentrification, just like I was saying, and the other hand, it could be that revitalization, as you were just saying.
Okay.
These responses be killing me.
But double, you said the gentrification like tied in with the indoctrination that he was talking about. So what indoctrination you talking about? You talking about like going to college is an indoctrination?
That's what he said earlier.
Yep.
I don't think that's what an indoctrination is though.
I
Like
mean,
I
it's
think
totally up to you, my man.
I mean I don't know. Cause like I was taught I think indoctrination is like like you following or believing something without like any critical thinking involved.
Right.
But
But
they
how the
teach you how to think critically in college.
You just said
yeah
it yourself. They teach you how to think critically.
Do you know what critical thinking is?
Oh yeah, of course.
What is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Why do
You
y'all
just said
lie?
you
Hold
did,
on,
though, bro.
hold
You
on,
just
y'all.
said you did.
Hold on, man.
That making my head hurt.
This shit is crazy, bro.
You making
You
mine
do
hurt too,
you
bro.
do realize it's okay to not know something. You do
Yes, it
realize
is
that,
okay
right?
not to know.
Okay,
It
cool.
is okay not to know something.
Okay, cool. Now, you clearly didn't know what critical thinking was. It's
No,
okay. I knew you did it.
no, I
I
do.
knew you.
No, I do.
So I'm sorry.
No, I
I
do.
knew you didn't by your
No, I
response.
do.
You do. Okay, tell us.
Oh yeah. No, I don't. No, you tell me. You said I don't know. You obviously know the definition.
Not only
You tell me.
do I no,
The fuck?
you.
I
I'm not,
mean, that shit
sir.
just doesn't make sense.
I got you. It doesn't make sense to you because you want to play dumb now and you want to
No,
save
I'm not
face.
playing dumb.
You
You
do.
assumed I didn't know what critical thinking
I
was.
knew you. I didn't assume you didn't know. I asked you to tell us, and you said because you didn't know. You said, "Oh, you tell me," and that's. I knew you didn't know before that though, but I did give you the opportunity to explain to us what it was, and you clearly don't know, and that's fine. That's all I'm saying. It's okay to not know stuff. It wasn't a gotcha necessarily. It didn't have to be that, but the thing is, double T. You have to understand. A lot of people get in these spaces and they mask and they lie and they play these games, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I like to know what type of person I'm dealing with. Personally, I like to know. And one of
Oh
the
yeah, me
ways,
too.
yeah, and one of the ways that I do that is I have conversations rooted in logic. I have conversations rooted in rationale, and conversations rooted in science to some extent, right? Loosely, because I don't really like sitting up here and doing whole dissertations and showing all this crap, but just general, right?
Okay.
And what I'll do is if I'll ask you a question that it would seem like easy for you to answer, right? Yes or no, whatever the case may be. I already know the answer to it. I just want to see if you're going to answer it honestly. It's a litmus test. And if you fail that test so many times, what do you expect me to think about you from there, right? From that point forward, you've like done it like 3 or 4 times already. Like it's okay. It's okay. So now I don't trust you. Now I don't believe anything you've been telling me right now. I don't believe you. I don't believe you made $200,000 flipping houses. I don't believe it one bit. I'll be honest with you. I appreciate you, Brianna. They say we getting the countdown started. Appreciate you. We need 40 more. I don't believe you one bit though, right? And that's neither here nor there. You don't have to like try to prove it to me or whatever. And if I know you don't care to do it, but I'm just saying I don't believe you though. But I'm just letting you know the reason why is because you keep failing. You keep lying when the truth will do, and I don't understand that. Like, where is your integrity? Do you not have any? Because you know this is just online, right? Like, who fucking cares? I don't know you. Why do you feel compelled to lie to me? Why do you feel compelled to save face in front of us? Who cares? You don't know us. We're strangers to you, right? You know that. I know that. Who cares? You don't have to come off as like this know it, like you're not. We see it. I'm just letting you know. I see you for who you are for the most part. And that's fine. I appreciate who you are. I respect it. I want you to respect it though. What are you doing? Where's all this weird behavior coming from? Like, your insecurities are showing, bro. Like, it's okay. It is okay. It is okay, right? You don't got to do that. That's all I'm saying. It's a little annoying. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a little annoying to be talking to a grown man and then like you're acting like a child for no reason. For what? See? Now, I'm gonna say something. It's gonna rub you the wrong way. Had you gone to college, you would know what critical thinking was. Just FYI, right? Like, had you gone to college, I'm not saying only people that go to college know what critical thinking is, but had you gone to college though, you would have known what critical thinking was, right? Had you gone to college, you wouldn't have answered the question like that, because you would have been able to think critically, but you did it, and you lack critical thinking. So now you're stuck looking like a child. You see what I mean? Like, education is important, and when you go to college, a part of the curriculum is you can literally take classes. It's not a prerequisite, but in college, a part of the curriculum is you can learn how to think critically, because it is a process. It's a science to it. It's not just some made up shit. It's not like everybody thinks critically. Everybody doesn't think critically. That's what I'm saying. So there's a science to it. You can literally learn how to do it.
Can I throw something in there too, public?
Please.
And also, I mean, if like you said, you don't do the college thing, so you don't subscribe to that. But you can always read up on emotional intelligence, being self aware, being able to self regulate, learning social skills, motivation, and being able to read the room. That is a very important skill. Very. And it's going to help you in your business and furthering your profit margins and increasing your overall numbers. So it's important that you kind of look into those things too.
Hold on. Let's invite up this bald bull looking. Come up, Mississippi. Here, we're gonna mute Mississippi Slick for the rest of the live because he been yapping. He been tapping a lot. He don't want to come up and yap though. But we gonna mute him for the live though. My mods, if y'all find Mississippi Slick, you can mute him for the live. He can come up here and get his privileges back if he want to. But he made a comment. Let me see. He says, "You're spelled incorrectly. The older man talking to the younger man that doesn't value what you say. So what?" I know people don't listen to people. Mississippi, you have to understand this. Do you know that you can be as nice or as mean as you want to be? You can be as understanding and reasonable or irrational as you want. Like, it doesn't matter. People listen to you when they're ready to listen to you. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And typically, when you are saying things to people that goes against their worldview, or in a lot of people's cases, I'm gonna use this word, indoctrination, because a lot of us have been indoctrinated. When you are trying to help a person undo the indoctrination, they're gonna reject it, right? I know that they're going to, like, very few people are going to flip it like in one night and just be like, "Oh, I see the light." So I don't expect that, right? But it doesn't stop you from saying the thing that needs to be said and planting the seed. And then you never know moving forward, because this happens all the time. Moving forward, people go, "Oh, shoot." They have that aha moment. Some people do. Most people don't, but some people do. And that's what I do. So I don't care if right now you agree with me. That's fine. I don't expect you to. That would be crazy right now if you just like literally walked into this conversation and you were just completely indoctrinated, and then 20, 30 minutes into it, you're like, "You know what? I completely agree with you now." Like that's rare. That's asking a lot of a person. I don't expect that. Right? I really don't. But he heard what I said. Everybody heard what I said. If you disagree with me right now, fine, cool. But I almost guarantee you, if you look it up, if you research it, if you hear other people who are way more educated than me talk about it, you'll start to piece it together for yourself. You'll put it together. They'll come to that conclusion, believe it or not. They'll come to a very similar conclusion to the one that I've come to. That's what I'm saying. So I don't worry about that. I don't worry about getting people, in the moment or whatever the case may be. I'm not some pimp. I'm not some fast talking pimp trying to manipulate you and have you out here turning tricks for your boy. I just plant the seed. That's it. We see what it is. All right. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I'm ready to end this live. I gotta go to bed. I'm tired.
I'm gonna see. It was good speaking with you. I learned a lot.
You too, Yati. I appreciate you, brother. And hey, man, good luck. If you want to tell me who you play for, I would love to watch you, because I watch sports, especially college basketball.
Look, wait, I'll DM it to you.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I bet. I appreciate you. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody coming up. I do. I really do. Yeah, that was fun. I got nectarine stuck in my teeth. Y'all know how that go. Shout out to the mods, man. I appreciate you. Best mods in the business. Hold on. Let me get up. Hold on. Real quick. If y'all still in here. If they still in here. They've been in the queue all night. We gonna see. We gonna get them up real quick. What up, y'all? Y'all go ahead. I'm sorry. We gonna get y'all up one time. Nikita, go ahead.
Hey, Pub. We up late together.
Late
Uh,
nights.
I would have really liked to have a discussion with Double C. He reminds me of my son. My son is 28. And he's one of those boys that listen to the Red Pillars and uh, I own women and men are greater, that whole attitude. Granted, I didn't raise him that way. Once children reach a certain age in their environment and the things that they surround themselves with, that's what they tend to gravitate towards. And his ideology is just like that young man. And my son right now at 28 is bitter. He can't stand women. He has a daughter that he doesn't take care of. It drives me nuts. The daughter's mom moved the baby to Texas. He's in Tennessee. He doesn't see her. He doesn't take care of her. All because of his views on life, and he thinks someone owes him something. He's entitled to something. And if that young man keep going the route that he's going, because I believe he's younger than my son,
He
he's
is.
going to experience the same exact thing. And I just told my son, I said, listen, if you're not going to listen to me, if you're not going to listen to the older men that are trying to give him the correct, educate him and get him on the correct path, I told him, you're going to go down the path where he will at some point, because he talk about it all the time, unalive himself. I don't want that to happen, but I'm like, you're causing your own issues. Get therapy. Like, you're literally, he was on my my insurance, and I'm like, when you were on my insurance, get therapy. Talk to someone that will listen to you and allow you to express what you're going through, because if not, you're not going to survive as a man. But yeah, I would have loved to had that conversation with that young man.
That's crazy, man. I'm sorry to hear that too, for both of y'all and for that baby.
Yeah, and it's hard because he blamed his father, for not being there, but she wasn't. Of course, he blames me because I was the parent that was there. And what a lot of these men don't understand is single mothers get blamed because we're there for the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they see is the bad and the ugly. So it's my fault dad wasn't there. No, dad chose not to be there. He lived across the street. He could have came anytime he wanted. He chose not to be there. But
Across the
that's
street?
my fault. Yeah. There's times where his father lived right around the corner, and he gave him no guidance. I mean, he apologized for it now, but he's already a grown man. It's it's literally too late. But he lived right across the street, wouldn't come see him, wouldn't visit him. He had 12, 13 other children. I mean, it's crazy. And, grant you, it is what it is at this point. It's not too late because he can choose to go another path. But again, that's a choice that he has to make. And it
You
just
know,
breaks my heart.
you
It
know,
really
you,
does.
you know what's crazy about that though? It sounded wild, like, oh, he live across the street and he said, but I know men that live in a house with the kids and don't be doing that.
Facts.
So living across the street ain't that crazy. But yeah.
Facts. Facts. But yeah, and then as far as the prompt itself, it's true. I mean, my husband, a perfect example. He'll be 50 in January, and some of the things that he say out his mouth, I even have to pull him out. Like, hold up, Slim, hold up, shawty. You listening to the wrong people. Like, he'll say, my dad was there, my dad was this, and I'm sure his dad was a great guy. He's deceased now. But I said, have you talked to your mother? Like, have you talked to your mother about, what your dad was really doing? Yeah, he was the breadwinner. He was that dad that went to work, came home, gave mom the paycheck, mom paid the bills, mom, made sure that the household was straight. But he was also that dad that sat down on the sofa with a beer and watched TV.
Of course.
Your mother was holding it down, sir. Your mother was the one that was making sure that, you guys had what you need, not dad. Dad was there to play and, take you to the basketball game and those things like you always preaching. It was your mom that was taking that burden. And today, he's not here now, but his mother, gave me some advice. She said, don't do what I did. And she's 80 something years old. Like, don't live for my son. Be a good wife, of course, based on whatever that is, for our relationship. But don't be over there taking on the burden of the household work and, doing all of these things. I did that. And then she never got remarried even after his father passed almost 30 years ago. So because she said I was never going to do that again.
Yeah.
I loved him in that moment. He was a great man when it came to, you know,
That,
what he did. But
I
outside
don't
of that,
believe him.
she did all the work.
Yeah.
But that they believe great men is the men that provide. I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Bare minimum.
right, exactly.
Uh, Bula, are you there? I feel like Bula might have been sleeping because she didn't mute up when she came up. What's up, Jazzy?
Hey, public.
Good evening.
Thanks for letting us up. I just wanted to address the prompt real quick,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree with it. I do. And I did want to say that I have heard men come up on your panel and say like they listen to you, they learn from you, they implemented certain things into their relationships, and it improved. And one thing that they always do say is that they realize that they have been lied to. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking like they realize they've been lied to by older men who taught them these lessons, whatever. So I think that proves the prompt to be correct. And I just wanted to share something, like an experience that I had, why I think that younger men should kind of like take the things that older men say with a grain of salt. At my job, somehow, one way or another, whatever, I got into this same type of like conversation with this guy, and he's old enough to be my father. And he was extremely jaded and very bitter. He was like reciting a bunch of Kevin Samuels talking points, and it to the point where it like started off as like a hey, friendly kind of conversation. He brought it to a whole nother level, and then he became emotionally unhinged and like saying things like that had nothing to do with what we were talking about, and making the conversation extremely personal towards me. And I just say all of that to say that he was not in a position that I think younger guys would want to be in at his age. He's old enough to be my dad. At work, I am his immediate supervisor. The way that he looks, his health, like he can barely walk around or talk without a towel because he's sweating either from diabetes or high blood pressure, like his finances, his money, his child support, like all of those type of things. But he's like reciting these Kevin Samuels talking points and these podcast bros, the thing that they say, right? However, it's just coming off to me as like you're just a bitter old man, right?
Bitter baby
so
daddy.
He's sure, yep.
Bitter baby daddy for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah, he told me he had 3 baby mothers.
Yep. BBD.
And yep, so I'm like, okay, if he's saying this to me or whatever, but I can't imagine like him being in a barbershop or being around his nephews or his younger male cousins and like reciting these things, and this is his perspective, and he's extremely incorrect, and his life does not reflect like what he's telling, what they would tell younger men, oh, you should do this and you'll have this life. His life is not reflecting that, so it wouldn't be wise to listen to him.
Facts. I agree. Don't listen to that dude. That dude sounds bitter. He sounds like exactly the man I'm talking about. We've been looking for him. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot going on, man. These dudes be out here sad, man. But what can we do about it when they're too old? You can always change when you're older, but it's tough. But hey, I appreciate everybody coming up. Bula, are you there again? I don't know. I think she might not be there. I appreciate y'all coming up. I'm done. I appreciate y'all, man, coming in alive. That was fun. Yeah, Nikita, that was crazy. Hopefully, man, keep an eye on that guy. 20s is rough for some men, though. The 20s are rough for men. I got a close person in my life. 20s was crazy. He tried to unalive himself a couple times actually and failed. Thank goodness. So he's still here with us, and now he getting his, now he married. He just got married recently. He moved out. He just got his dream job. Like, it's starting to come together for him. But he's still in his 20s, late 20s though. It's pretty crazy. All right. I appreciate everybody in the comments. I kept it local tonight. I didn't even do the YouTubes. I didn't want to do them both be too draining, so I just did the one. I'm not going to have the sub only live after this one, Decompression Live. Obviously, it's too late. But tomorrow after my live, I definitely will have that. And, yeah, it's going to be fun. Double T, I got it, brother. You're embarrassed. Now you're just being weird. Don't be weird. Okay? We've tussled enough tonight. You're okay. Oh, yeah. Shout out to all the new subs. Shout out to all the old subs. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. My brain is leaving me right now. I'm really sleepy. Okay, cool. Yeah, we not coddling. We not doing that. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, I'm not into coddling men. I think it's weird. I always think it's problematic to coddle men. It's crazy.